Did you already start recording? Did you sneakily start recording again? Is this?
I literally just hit the button.
How much of that? Okay. Sure you did.
I did.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
See, this is how you get good cold opens. Is you're
trying to
cold record.
Somehow I know you're trying to like get one over on me, and I'm gonna say something bad, and then you're gonna be like, "Well, I've got you now."
No, that is the furthest thing from my personality. I'll say that much.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what someone who does that would say.
That's the psychological trap. It's the trick to get you.
Trying to trick on me?
I'm stunned. I'm doing the Tony Hawk, like, you know. Just did a kickflip. It was very cool. You missed it.
Has anyone ever actually done a Christ air?
That's
a video game only trick, I have to assume, right?
I think so. It doesn't seem like...
I'm gonna Google, is a Christ air real?
You could if you get enough, like...
The amount of, like, air you would have to get, though, would be like, it'd kill you on the way back down.
Yeah, because there's definitely video game only moves that, you know, they're just physically impossible for you to do in those games, but, like... That one seems like it is possible.
It's a real move.
Is it? Holy shit.
The Christ air was invented by skater Christian Hosoi. Recently, Denmark's Rune Gilfberg has become the Christ air's most famous practitioner. In April 2007, professional skater Martin Jackson performed a 14-foot high Christ air, the second highest behind Hosoi himself. As also known to do Christ air is Danny Way.
Oh, shout out to Danny Way.
All right. You know, Christ airs are real.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you just gotta... It seems like you gotta get a lot of fucking air to be able to do it, though. Because you gotta get that board out from under your feet, into your hand,
and
arms T-posed, and then you gotta get it back there. That's too much. Did you ever like skate when you were a kid? Like, did you own a skateboard? Did you have...
No, because I was incredibly
coordinated.
Uncoordinated, even though I was in karate. I was coordinated for like karate and shit like that, but when I got that board, like I always would just like fucking try to push off and fall over. I think I did an ollie once after like 3 hours of trying and never tried again. But I always liked looking at the fucking catalogs of like all the skateboards and the shoes and the trucks, and I would always be like, I want that board and those trucks and those, you know, wheels. It'd be so cool. And I'd be like, Mom, can I get one of these? And then she would always go, can you ride a skateboard? And I would be like, oh, no. And she goes, wouldn't you rather have video games? Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Shouts out my mom. Hey, speaking of video games, guess what? I have more trophies than you. Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me?
Could you imagine?
You talked over my entrance? Are you fucking kidding me right now with this shit?
Are you fucking...
Play the theme song again. Fuck this.
Do it over.
Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, podcast.
Shit. Play the theme song again. Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. I am your host, Dr. Ryan, the 64th best gamer in all of North America.
And damn. And hey, I'm your now relocated host. Oh, we can't say that.
Yeah, why can't we say that? Why can't we do that?
Everyone would know where I am.
Would you rather I said
Oh, well, see, you definitely can't say that.
What's weird is I can't say that you and I both went to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo this weekend.
We did.
But I can't say that you live in...
Correct. That's the bit.
What? I got questioned about that bit.
Did you really?
I got questioned by somebody, I won't say who asked me why is Chris so paranoid about people finding out where they live, to which I had to point out it's a bit. But they did not understand why.
That's funny. Yeah, here, I'll explain it real quick. Yeah, it's a bit like
wait, hold on. Okay, so I can't say this will be bleeped out if I say that you live in.
Yes,
but can I say that you used to live in Indianapolis, Indiana?
Yeah. So
that made it through.
I am from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's right. That's where I've come from.
But now you're in. Do we have to bleep that part out?
I think we might. I think
so.
We might just have to bleep it.
Now, okay. Now, wait. Let me test this again. I live in Southern Oregon.
Yes.
That got through.
Yes.
Now, what if I say... Did that get bleeped?
I don't know. Hey, right in. Did that get bleeped? Was there a funny chuckle afterwards?
I don't... This sucks. Oh, what's up, Chris?
Hey, yo, we went to Portland Retro Gaming Expo. What is it? PRGE? Is that what people call it? Is that what the kids are calling it?
PGRE.
PGRE.
PRGE.
PRG.
Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Yeah, we did. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. We fucking met up with Tylon. Tylon was there.
Yeah.
And bought video games.
I bought some video games.
Yeah.
Did you buy video games? I don't remember you buying anything.
I bought 3.
That's not true. I talked Tylon into spending a lot of money.
Yo, whoa! How much? Tylon bought a collector's edition of Fallout New Vegas, right?
New Vegas. That was super sick. I'm still a little I was all joking about how you should buy it, and then when he said no, I was gonna buy it, and then he was like, "I'll buy it." I was like, "Ah, fuck."
You got caught. He called your bluff and raised you.
Me. He got some other. He got I talked him into buying like a boxed copy of Shadows of the Empire with a instruction man or a strategy guide and some other things. I don't remember what he got. Tylon, you got to write in next time and
let us know what you got.
What you got and how much you spent. What'd you get?
I spent a paltry $50.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, I spent $54 because I bought a complete in box copy of Sonic Spinball for the Genesis, which that's been on my list of games to get lately. Because when I was replaying through all the Sonic games on my stream, 2 years ago now, I fell in love with that game. The game was really good, so it's a sleeper hit. If you haven't played it, go check out Spinball. But I also got a complete in-box copy of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or I guess it would be the Philosopher's Stone because it's outside of America, but it's a Japanese copy for the PS1.
Nice.
And then I got a reproduction cart of Mother 3, the English translation.
I talked you into buying that one.
Yeah, I'm really glad I got it though, because that is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love Mother 3, and I've played it before. Like, I played the that translation of it whenever it came out, 10 years ago now, like on, just emulation. So when they actually had like the physical copy there, I was like, ooh,
hold on, shut up. Breaking news.
Breaking. Dude, put in some breaking news music, me.
Astros 4, Yankees 2.
Ooh.
So that's the final score. So
we really don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like that. By the way, Padres did win.
They did.
Was it 8-5 today?
Something like that. It was a big score.
It was a big score. So Padres are at 1-1.
Shit.
I'm very excited about that.
They just got to keep going. It's a 7-game series, right?
Yeah. Now it's it's 1-1, so now it's really like it's a 5-game. Those ones didn't count. Now it's like a 5-game series.
Yeah.
I mean, Padres can win those. So anyway, sorry to cut you off.
They beat the Mets and the Dodgers.
Yeah,
like
the Phillies. That's not going to be that hard because let me just go out and say this right now. Philadelphia is a shithole town. full of losers and nerds. Your whole town smells like farts, and Philly cheesesteaks with cheese whiz on it are disgusting. So the Phillies are going to be nothing.
100%.
And if you're from Philadelphia and you listen to this,
don't write in.
I hate you until baseball's over, and then you're cool. Once baseball's over, we're cool. But for right now, you suck.
I've only been to Philly once, and that was for that PAX Unplugged, and that was the worst convention I've ever been to.
Yeah, because it was a shithole town. Yeah, got it. Cool. The Astros are cheaters, and the Yankees suck. So Padres all day. Anyway, you were talking about Mother 3. I'm sorry.
Mother 3. Always going to be baseball. Yeah, baseball is the heart right now. It is everything because, it's sad because my Hawks did get knocked out.
Will you officially right now say that in this series you support the San Diego Padres?
You know what? I will because they have like 7 NPB alums on their team. So I'm all in.
What's going on with Japanese baseball? The Hawks are out.
So
it's the Swallows versus the Buffaloes
in the Japan Championship. Yep.
Have they played any games yet?
No, there's a full week break.
Damn.
So yeah.
Who do you like?
I think I want the Swallows to win here. I think it's time for the Central League to like really step up its game. So it would be really interesting for the Swallows.
Honestly, if you had to tell me which one do you think is like the underdog?
The Buffaloes for sure.
Then I gotta root for the Buffaloes.
Again, like with the Buffaloes, they were trailing. Like they were pretty down at the beginning of the season. Like I wanted to say they were like 4th place. I think they even dropped into 5th for a little bit. And then all the way to the end of the season, they were kind of fighting for 3rd place. And then right at the end, they won like 3 games in a row. And then all like spots 1 through 4 were all within a game of each other. And so it came down to the last game of the season. They ended up winning, which put them they ended up tying the Hawks. Like, was it like 65 to what was it? 55 game or 65 wins, 55 losses, and then 2 ties, I believe, a piece. But the thing is since they won the final game of the season, they got the advantage in the tiebreaker. So they ended up being the first seed, getting the home field advantage, the fucking week off, and then ended up playing the Hawks for the Pacific League Championship, and where they beat them in 3 games, I believe, 4 games maybe. So
I'm officially supporting the Oryx Buffaloes.
They're like Osaka.
Osaka? I fuck with Osaka. What's Oryx? What do they make?
Oh my gosh. I think it's like a car thing. I don't know.
All right.
I've looked this up.
I do love that all of the Japanese baseball teams are just like fucking owned by just like they're all owned by corporations and rich people. Just like Japan's just like, fuck it. We're not gonna hide. We're gonna tell you exactly who owns this team. Nippon Ham Fighters, baby.
Yeah, Nippon Ham. It's so good, but like,
there's two players that I like are ex-fighters. You got Yu Darvish, he's a pitcher for the Padres, and you got fucking Shohei Ohtani.
Yep, ex-fighter. Oh my gosh,
one of the best baseball players MLB has ever seen. But I wouldn't go as far as to say. Okay, so there's this dude named Nolan Ryan. He throws a ball real fast. You're going to tell me Shohei is a better pitcher?
Yeah, I will actually.
No, he's not. He's not.
Shohei's over here throwing 102 mile an hour fastballs.
Shohei rules. And I want him to be a Padre so bad. I know he signed another year with the fucking Angels, but they're going to sell and everything's going to be fucked. Would it be so cool if Shohei Ohtani was just like, I like Southern California and fuck the Dodgers. I'm moving to San Diego.
I wouldn't be surprised because he said where he goes next is going to be based on fucking teams that can play, because he was like, I mean, God, that's the thing is you look at Shohei's numbers this year.
Did Shohei ever play with you? Because I know they were on the Fighters, but I don't know if they were on at the same time.
Yeah.
He's got a friend there, and then they'll be like, yo, meet all these cool people, want to fucking hang out with this guy. His name's Manny Machado. He fucking rules. And then they'll all be best friends.
Like, he he put up numbers to have 2 MVP awards this year. Like, it's insane.
Once again, I must note, when it comes to best pitchers of all time, Nolan Ryan throws this ball real fast. Anyway, let's get back to video games.
Yeah.
So you got the Mother 3. Was that it? That's all you got?
Yeah, and then I bought a couple Pokemon cards because apparently they were selling some. Yeah. I got a Radiant Gardevoir, a Hisuian Zoroark V, and a Kyurem V.
You want to hear what I got?
Those are decks I want to build. What'd you get? You got a lot of shit. I remember
I bought some video games.
Oh.
So I bought a
you spent money.
Just game only copy of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening DX because I already had the book in the manual, or the box in the manual, so I completed that. I bought the box in the manual only to Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance because I had the game, completed that. Bought the book in the box in the manual to Pokemon Yellow, got that one at a pretty good price because I already had that game, completed that. I would like to have all 3 original. I'd like to have a blue, a red, and a yellow complete. I think that would be really fun. I got the book and the manual to Zelda. I keep saying book, box and manual to Zelda the Minish Cap because I already had that game, but I already had the manual, so I have an extra manual.
Low key, one of the best Zelda games that they've ever made.
It's a good Zelda. I don't know. It's definitely not in my top 5, but
I don't even
your top 5 Zeldas. Have we ever talked about that?
I don't even know what they would be. I know that Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker would be very high up there.
Without putting them, like, I would have to think for order. But if I was to say top 5 Zeldas, like just in no order, it would be Wind Waker, the Oracles, which I'm going to count as one game. I think that's
fair.
Okay to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't even beat it until you beat both of them. So,
Link to the Past. I'm going to say Link Between Worlds and Twilight Princess. I think those would be. No, I think Link's Awakening has to. Oh fuck, that's hard.
I think
it's definitely Wind Waker, the Oracles, Link to the Past, and then for those last 2, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Link's Awakening and Ocarina. Yeah. Actually, I think that's my top 5. What would be your top 5?
I think Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker are kind of tied for first for me.
That's fair.
They just serve different things, so it's kind of hard to separate the two, I guess.
Sure.
Past that, I think it would be A Link Between Worlds.
Great game.
Link to the Past.
Great game.
Gosh, that 5th slot, I might put. It would have to be either Oracle or
Minish Cap.
Minish Cap, I think. Yeah,
I think that's fair. Now let me ask you this: top 3 worst Zeldas. So bottom 3 Zeldas.
You're not gonna like this. Oh, you know what? Actually, in that 5th slot, I think I'd put Majora. I think I like Majora more than the other 2. It's hard though. They're all so good.
I'm sorry. You mean mid Jora?
No.
Top 3, bottom 3 worst Zeldas easily.
Ocarina of Time.
No, you're stupid.
Twilight
the
Princess.
What?
Skyward Sword.
You're dumb. It's Adventures of Link, Skyward Sword, and Spirit Tracks.
No, it would be the CDI Zeldas.
Those don't count. Those are not mainline Zeldas.
No, realistically,
the worst 3 Zeldas ever made are the Adventures of Link, Skyward Sword, and Spirit Tracks.
I think it would be for me Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess is such a good fucking Zelda. You are high.
No.
It rules so hard.
It's really not that good.
It's amazing. It's got one of the coolest.
You gotta hold your arm up in the air and swing around.
Just play it on the GameCube.
That's like $100.
Yeah,
I wish I had a copy of that on GameCube.
There were like 8 of them.
I know. I saw them, and I was like, "Oh man, if I had the money."
I bought mine for $100 cash from Frank. Frank had a bunch of games and he got rid of them, and he was just like, "Yo, I got Twilight Princess on GameCube. How much does that go for?" And I was like, "About $100. I'll give you $100." And he went, "Damn, all right."
I don't know. I don't know.
I think that anyone that defends the Adventures of Link is stupid.
No, it's a solid game. I really like it.
Not. It sucks. I think Skyward Sword is a fucking mess.
No, Skyward Sword is a mess, and I the thing is, I don't think Twilight Princess is any less of a mess
about a train. You're dumb. We're done with this. Okay, what else did I buy? Okay, so I got the box. I got complete in box. I got Super Mario Advance 4. That's Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm only missing Super Mario Advance 3 Yoshi's Island to have all the Super Mario Advance on Game Boy Advance. I love those. So a lot of these I'll tell right now, I already owned like just a copy of the game, but not like all the stuff. So I like rebought it. And then I flipped and I sold a bunch of these already. Made like a couple $100 already just on reselling some of the games I already had. So I've made a little bit, but not much, like $200. So I got Super Mario Brothers 3. I got Super Mario Brothers Deluxe, which is the Game Boy Color version of Super Mario Brothers 1. I did get The Adventures of Link, even though I hate that game, because I want every box Zelda. I got Disney's Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, which is an NES game where you're trying to go through Disneyland and go on rides to find keys. I got both Oracle games. I got Zelda A Link to the Past Game Boy Advance. I got Mario Party 1 complete in box. I got a PlayStation Vita game called Brotherhood United, which is a shitty easy platinum, but it's one of those like they made the physical version so I can plat it again.
Right.
You got me to buy the fucking Dot Hack series on PS4.
I'm excited. I really hope we do an episode on that sometime next year.
I also got a game called Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XL, which is the Cartoon Network Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a Smash clone?
It's a rare game with an easy plat.
Oh, shit.
I also got the Blu-ray version of the movie Not For Resale, which is, I guess, some documentary about like mom and pop video game stores. It just looked interesting.
Huh.
It was sold by, have you heard of that? What's that guy's name? The Pat the NES Punk guy?
Yeah. I
don't know much about him. I just know that like he talks about NES games and he's from San Diego. And I was wearing a Mega 64 hat. He was like, yo, Mega 64. I love them. They're from San Diego too. And I was like, yeah. They're my friends, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and then we just started, because that was the day right after they had beaten the fucking Dodgers, and I was like, yeah, we watched that game. I was like, it was so good. And then that night when I was driving home, we'll talk about later, is when they fucking clinched, and that was a great fucking night. Anyway, and then I also found a figure. I don't usually buy figures, but these dumpster fire figures, and they made one with the "This Is Fine" dog. The dog in the fire. Yeah. This is fine. It was like $30. So I got that. Should I say the grand total of what I spent?
Yeah, you have to. Because here's the thing is, I showed up at the convention around noon. And funnily enough, I was like just pulling out my phone. Like I was running to the bathroom and then I was pulling out my phone to text you and Tylon, because Tylon messaged me earlier in the morning, was like, hey, I'm driving down. I'm going to go to the convention for the day. And I was like, fuck yeah. And so I was going to text you guys and you were calling me. And then walked over about 5 feet to see you guys, and you were like, I've spent this much money. And I was just like, God damn, son.
Everything I just said, I spent $1,375.
God damn.
And I had so much more money to spend that I would have spent there was a booth where this guy was just getting rid of all of his Vita shit, and I would have bought so much more. But I was saving money for the auction.
Yeah.
Only to find out the auction got fucked because do you know this company Whatnot?
Never heard of them.
Basically trying to be like a live streaming eBay.
Yeah.
They suck shit.
Yeah. They've ruined
they took over. Usually every year, Saturday night of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, there's an auction where people bring a bunch of weird stuff and like rare stuff, and it's just, hey, people in that room, they bring cash. Most of the time, like sometimes people will be like, yeah, I'll take PayPal if you got it, but mostly it's just cash only, right? And it's like weird shit. Like one year there was, some guy brought a bunch of old signs and shit. One year somebody like Howard Phillips brought a copy of the first issue of Nintendo Power and put his Nintendo Fun Club president sticker in it.
Oh shit.
Or not sticker, I'm sorry, business card. Fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
One year there was this unreleased like NES prototype of Breakout 2 that had never been dumped, and then Stephen Lin, who is like a big up in a bunch of, I think he's like a big CEO, and I want to say Tencent or something like that. I don't know, but he's also really big in like video game collecting and supporting the Video Game History Foundation. Was literally bidding against some other guy who wanted it for his private collection, and Stephen Lin won it, and then said immediately, was like, I'm going to dump this tomorrow, killing the value of it, but he didn't give a shit.
Right.
Like, that shit was so cool. So I'm like, it's been 3 years since they've done one of these. I cannot wait to get there. The auction is being put on by Whatnot. You can't bid cash. You can only bid using the Whatnot app, and we're going to put it online so everybody around the world can bid at the same time.
So stupid.
Oh, they killed it. It was nothing really good. It was a bunch of just graded games and like some signs. There was some other things, but it was just like, fuck this. I was fully planning on staying all of Saturday and a little bit of Sunday. After that happened, even though I had like had a hotel room for another night, I said, fuck that. I checked out of my hotel room and just drove home.
Yeah. I even heard, cause we were there.
Hold on. I also got the original Pokemon official player's guide with the stickers.
That's right. Yeah. God, what a fucking nostalgia thing too. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, because I have my Game Boy has a bunch of those stickers on it from when I was a kid. But no, yeah, like I'd heard like a bunch of people talking about that auction, and just it was like, oh shit, it wasn't worth going to. It was kind of a waste. Like, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see if they kind of backpedal on that next year, or if it just made so much money that like that's just how it is now, So
earlier in the year, when they announced they were going to finally come back after COVID, they did this thing. They did a swap meet. I did the same thing. I drove up one night after work, went through in the morning, drove home afterwards because it was only for a couple hours. And it was just a smaller version of this, just a bunch of people with booths selling video games. That's where like I got all the Donkey Kongs and everything. And Whatnot had a booth there. It was the first time I've ever heard of them. And I just remember my first like interaction with it was this one chick at a booth yelling as loud as she could while people are looking at video games. All right, who wants to, like, she was doing some stream and it was like, who wants to buy this? Wants to buy this? It's only $5, $5. Oh, $6. I got you. Hey, Vegeta fan 437 to you to buy. Like, literally at the top of her lungs, screaming on this thing to sell video games. And like, I could hear from the other side of the thing. I was like, if this is what Whatnot is, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I've only ever watched one Whatnot stream. It was a friend of mine. His name's Jeff, and he was selling stuff, and his was okay, but it was like the same thing. It was just like, you put games up, you put a price, and basically it's that thing of like, if somebody bids, there's a timer, but if somebody bids, it adds like 30 seconds to the timer, so it just keeps going.
So it keeps going forever.
Yeah. And he was selling a copy of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I didn't get either of them. Speaking of, at my local game store, there is a copy of Soul Silver for $120, but it doesn't have the
Poke Walker.
The Poke Walker, but it's just like, I don't need that. But what if I did? Well, what if I had it?
Silver was the last one you played, right? Or did you even play Silver?
Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
No, just like Silver and Gold, right?
Like, that's the last ones I beat.
Okay. Because I was going to say, the remakes are really good.
It is, but also it's just like, I'm not going to play Pokemon again. I've fucking played it. I get it.
You know what? I think... Oh, God. It's hard to say that I like to commit to this because I really don't want to. But, like, I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious about this next Pokemon game because it sounds like they're addressing a lot of the problems I have with the franchise right now. So... I don't know. Maybe it's something we should look into. Maybe Pokemon is changing, and maybe it's like finally time to look at that series again. I don't know. I'm really curious as to how Scarlet and Violet are going to play out.
Is it that you go around and you get Pokemon, and then you have to fight the gyms, and you always have to try and like have one Pokemon with all the HMs on it, and at the end of the day, it's just the same game over and over and over again?
No, because
it sounds like that's what it is.
They took out the HM stuff like forever ago, so you don't even need a Pokemon with HMs anymore. You just like can just, I don't know, taxi everywhere basically. They just have circumvented the system for it, I guess. There's a new system around it, but like all the gyms, you can do them in any order you want. Like it's a completely open world game now. So.
Oh, is Pokemon Elden Ring now?
It sounds like that's what they're trying to do. I mean, they're trying to go for that more open aspect to it. I don't know. It just seems like maybe they're finally trying to change up the formula. And from what I've heard, like with Arceus, it's like apparently Arceus was a good step. So I don't know. It might be time worth looking into a new Pokemon, because again, I played Sword and Shield. Like, so anyone who fucking told me that game was good, you're eating horseshit, because that game fucking sucks. Like, even my wife was playing it on the car ride over to where we live now, like that fucking long ass 35-hour drive, and she was just like, this game sucks. Like, it's not fun. She fell asleep playing it because it was so fucking boring. So I don't know what people see in that game, but I am curious as to what people think about this next one. This one I think will be the make or break. Like, if this one really isn't that good and it's just still kind of the same thing, just slightly different, I think people really got to start voting with their wallet then. But I don't know. Pokemon fans seem to, buy everything blindly. So we'll see.
I think Pikachu is cool.
Pikachu's cute. Really good mascot. Like they really nailed it on that one.
Yeah, he's cool.
Isn't it weird that like they like Satoshi what's his name? Who's the fucking dude that made Pokemon? It's not like Izuka. Steve Jobs. Whenever he created Pokemon, like Rhydon was the first Pokemon he made, and like Clefairy was gonna end up being the like mascot, and then they like last minute changed it to Pikachu. How fucking different would it be if Clefairy ended up being the mascot of Pokemon instead of Pikachu? It'd been fucking wild. All right, let's get off of Pokemon.
Right. So anyway, the Retro Gaming Expo was cool. I wish I would have bought more stuff. I've got all this fucking cash in front of me that I didn't spend.
Put it in the bank.
What am I going to spend it on? That's boring. Maybe don't have me saying that now that it just came out of my mouth. Sometimes I forget that. How do I say this without sounding like a shithead? Sometimes I forget that I have been working for a long time.
Right.
And that I have accrued a certain amount of wealth that I don't mean to rub in other people's faces, but I passively do because it's become normal for me.
Right. It has become, well, I mean, you've worked for it. So, I mean, you get to, but like at the same time, it's like,
you're going to bleep this out. I'm going to say something to you.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you that what I'm projected to bring in this year. I want your honest reaction, but you have to bleep the number out.
Okay. Shut the fuck up. No, are you serious?
Yeah.
God damn, dude. Is that before taxes or after taxes?
Before. That's my gross, not my net.
I was gonna say
before write-offs. That's before like expenses. That's I mean, I can tell you what I'm projected to bring home myself before taxes.
It's got to be like half of that, right? Well, at least you're paying your fair share.
I mean, yes, that is. I mean, hey, that's a lot of money.
You got to get a bitchin' house, man. Like,
I really do.
You got to get a bitchin' house that we can all like party at. Because holy shit,
I'm trying.
You should build. You should just build. Because then you get the house that you want.
What I want is the house that I grew up in that my parents sold a while ago, and these other people bought it and painted it a weird, gross green color. If that ever goes up for sale, I just want it. Anyway, bleep that all out. I don't want to be like an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I bought some video games, and now we're here to talk about video games.
Yeah. Did you platinum any video games in the last week?
I've been kind of busy between that and some other stuff. I've only platinumed I've only gotten 3 new platinums and 100%.
Damn.
And they're not really that impressive either. So like, I platinumed a game called 5Es, which is literally just a bad clone of Yahtzee, because I like Yahtzee and it took like 25 minutes. It was like $1 and it was just like, oh, I like Yahtzee. I'll play Yahtzee for like 25 minutes while I'm watching baseball.
Then Yahtzee just rolling dice and hoping that you roll all the same number.
It's strategy.
Yeah.
Shut up. It was fun. me and my family used to play Yahtzee all the time, so it's fun. I have good memories.
That's fair.
I did platinum a new Christian Mingle game because I wanted to see how good I could do it, and it's called United States Capitals Breakthrough Gaming Activity Center, and it was literally just how quickly can you name a bunch of state capitals? And guess what? I can name a bunch of state capitals in a minute and 37 seconds. Then I did platinum the PS5 version of the Cowabunga collection. So I did the Cowabunga collection again. And then last night I finally beat all of the different ways to beat Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Nice. How is that game? That's
games I want to talk about. So I know we have a game this episode, but I want to really quickly just spend a little bit of time on this one.
Yeah,
this is like my me game for a second. Do you like Castlevania?
Yeah, I love Castlevania, but
like not Castlevania, the ones where it's like a Metroidvania. Do you like Castlevania where it's just a single like Castlevania 1, where it's just one linear path with the only difference being different ways to go if you don't have specific power-ups?
Like then the third one in Super Castlevania?
Then you'll like Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. So I haven't played Ritual of the Night, which is like the big one, but this was basically like, as far as I believe they made this to like, this was did that Kickstarter. They made this as like to hold people over until Ritual of the Night came out. And the idea is that you're some guy named Zangetsu. I don't know if that plays into the game. And he's on a quest to kill demons because the demons are coming
to kill chaos.
And, yeah, exactly. I don't give a fuck what your name is. That I'll tell you right now, that game definitely not the game of the year, not even making it above 8. That moment will definitely be one of the top 3 best moments or sequences of the year.
Perfect. I'm into that.
I don't give a fuck what your name is. That and the part in the quarry when you knock a bookcase over so that the Ethan Suplee can't get Justice Smith, and Ethan Suplee goes, you can't hide in my own house, fucker. And then Justin Smith in a really low voice goes, you're the fucker. Have I shown you that clip?
No, like I haven't seen that clip.
Wait, I need to show you this really quick.
I like the very beginning of the game when fucking was it Ted Raimi was like, "This is not a fucking hotel." Like, didn't you fucking listen to me? Like losing his damn mind with his like weird Jello face jiggling around.
I'd like you to watch this clip really quick and give your live reaction.
Let's do it.
And include the audio if you can.
I think I can. All I gotta do is hit this button. No, yeah.
You can't hide from me in my own house, fucker! You're a fucker.
You're a fucker. It's pretty good. That game, we can't get back in that. Wait, hang on. We lost your audio for a little bit. Interesting. Well, that's funny.
When did you lose my audio?
Whenever I cut out to the clip.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, look, this is all you missed because I'm cutting back in right here. We lost Ryan's audio for a second. Big oopsie. It happened.
They heard the fucker line, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, you heard the fucker line, and then I was like,
did they not hear anything from there until now?
Yeah. So like,
so we lost everything.
No, no. You lost like 3 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah. So
which is
shit that I've been talking about. So we
about
start over.
Castlevania. Yeah.
Okay.
Or not
so
Castlevania.
All that didn't count.
Bloodstain. Yeah.
Welcome back. You missed me.
Take 2.
Okay. So take 2. First of all, welcome to Monday. We like Mondays around here.
No, wait, we do like Mondays. We do. Sorry. Garfield can eat my nuts.
Well, we love Garfield. I'm wearing my Garfield robe. I got a Garfield robe that I got from Dumb Good, and he's got a pillow, and he's got his little Pookie teddy bear, and I love Garfield. And if you don't love Garfield, you're not a friend of mine.
Damn.
Anyway, okay, so Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was made as a kind of holdover while Ritual of the Night was getting done. It is an 8-bit old school original Castlevania, so not like a Metroidvania. It's a linear path. There's 8 levels with a boss at the end of each one, and you play this guy named Zangatsu, who's got to kill the demons. And the big hook to it is at the end of the first 3 levels, when you defeat the boss, you'll meet a companion. You can either have them join you and they become a playable character that you can switch between. You can kill them and absorb their soul for a special soul art power, or you can ignore them and nothing happens. And that's it. There are some extra modes, but the trophies are basically, there's 8 trophies for beating each level the first time. And then there's another one. There's 6 levels for getting the 6 different endings, which I'll talk about really quick. And then there's a boss rush mode, which is actually very hard, but I'm going to clue you on a little cheat.
Oh, shit.
So really quickly, the 6 endings that you need to see is you got to beat the game with recruiting everybody. That's like the good ending, right?
Right.
And that's at every stage you get a recruit. The first girl you recruit, I think her name's like I don't remember the people's names, but like the first girl is the girl from Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
And she's got a whip, so she's got a longer attack, and she's got a higher jump, and she's got a slide under. The next one is like some wizard man, and he can do magic. And then the fourth one is like it's supposed to be an Alucard. It's a vampire. He can turn into a bat and fly.
It's again like,
yeah, it's
fucking Castlevania 3. Like it's the same like set.
That it's just Castlevania 3.
Well,
guess what? This was made by the guy that made Castlevania 3. So
yeah, what is it? Is it Igarashi?
Igarashi. Actually, I think Iga just made Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't make Castlevania 3. He was too busy working on Tokimeki Memorial at that time. Or actually, that would have been
the game to the West.
Put that game in English so I can platinum it. Fuck. All right. Anyway, so yeah, he can fly, and so what it is that like it's a linear path, but there's different offshoots. It's like, hey, if you don't, what'll happen is like if one person dies, if like while you're playing, if somebody takes lethal damage, you'll get a stop and go back, and then you'll have all 3 of the other people, but that person will be dead until you beat the level. So it's like if you get to an area where it's like, well, I can't jump over this because I don't have whatever her name is to do the high jump, I got to take the lower path, and lower path might be harder and not have as many good power-ups. And they all have different secondary weapons, and they all have different categories. Now you can play this game 2 ways, veteran mode or casual mode. Veteran mode is that you have a limited number of lives before game over, and you have collision, which means if you get hit, you get knocked back. Or you can play in casual mode where you have unlimited lives and you don't get knocked back. Play on casual mode because there's nothing that makes you play in veteran mode. And like having to, like, if you getting hit by one of those Medusa heads and getting thrown off to an instant death is fucking infuriating, and no one should have to deal with that. Anyway, so the first playthrough, you got to get all the adventures and you got to get through the game with everybody. The next one is once you've done it that way, you unlock Nightmare Mode. Nightmare Mode is the game, but the main dude is missing, and you start with all 3 of the secondary people. And then the final boss is different. It's that guy, Zangatsu, whatever, has been taken over by the demons.
Oh my god.
You need to fight him to get the demons out, and then you get the ending where you don't have demons in him. Then you gotta do a mode where you kill all of them and get their soul art. So what it is when you meet them, if you instead you strike them with your sword and kill them, you get a soul art. Like the first one is you get, what is the first one? The first one is you get a double jump. The second one is you get a slash. And the third one is you get a dash.
Okay.
And it's just so that the main guy can double jump and shit.
Right.
They become important later. I'll explain why. So the next one is that there's one for, it's called Get the Normal Ending, which in that one, you have to recruit the girl, but kill the other 2 guys. And then the other ending is that you have to kill the girl and ignore the other 2 guys and play by yourself. It's very weird. And then the final ending is you have to play the game without sacrificing or recruiting anybody. But there's a way around that. You can play what's called Ultimate Mode, where in Ultimate Mode, the bosses are harder, but you get all the soul arts to start out with. So even though you're ignoring everyone and not getting their soul arts, you are having them. It's just that the bosses have some extra attacks. On that one, the boss of level 2, who's like this ice turtle man, is kind of annoying because he's got a little bit extra health in the way that he throws his ice. You just get hit a lot faster. And then the final boss is way more annoying because he has like so much more health and he attacks so much faster. But that's the 6 ways to play the game. The best thing I can tell you about that is literally just put it on casual mode. You'll have infinite lives and just keep trying until you find what works. The best weapon for most of that game, sub-weapon, is the whip, which is an upward diagonal strike. It's really good at hitting enemies and bosses. So like Zangatsu's got 3 separate sub-weapons. One is that, where it's the whip that shoots up and diagonally up.
Right.
One is a talisman that you throw at the ground and it creates like a dot where it's just this little circle. And then one is like a dark flame where by using it, you do extra damage. That one's really good on ultimate mode for fighting the final boss because you just do a bunch of damage. But other than that, I usually use the whip. And then for the girl, she can either have a scythe that goes back and forth like a boomerang, or three daggers that she shoots upwards. And you've got a magic meter, and you can break candelabras to find more magic, which is nice.
Of course.
So get through that. And then the hardest one that's supposed to be is the boss rush mode, because how boss rush works is that you've got one chance to get all 8 bosses down in a row. There's in between each one, you go back to a room where there's one of each sub weapon and 2 hearts. But the thing is, once you take one, you don't get it back. So like if you use a sub weapon on boss 1, it's gone for the rest of them. But there's a cheat. What you do is before you press X to start it, if you hold R1, square, and triangle, you will get all the soul arts. You have infinite magic, and that room will replenish after every boss instead of never. So it becomes a little bit easier.
Oh, shit.
The only problem is that final boss is still a bitch, because when you go through the game, you can find permanent upgrades to like health and magic. But there's 2 important ones. There's a gauntlet that gives you extra attack power, and a suit of armor that gives you extra defense. And you don't get those on boss rush mode. So the boss can. And you also can't find hearts that give you more health or more magic. So the boss can fuck you up. And if you die, then that one's out for the whole boss rush mode, and then you have to start all over again at boss 1. It took me like 3 tries to do it.
Oh shit! Three tries. That's still pretty quick though. Like,
well, I mean, it's like 15 to 20 minutes each try. I would say for fun, I'm giving this game a gold. For the amount of different ways you have to play the game, and like just kind of how boring you have to play that game 6 times. And like I said, it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this game, just for trophies, I'm going to give it a silver, because I think they overdid it a little bit in playing. Because other than that, like, it's the only trophies in the game are those 6 endings, the boss rush, and then beat each stage once. So they're kind of boring.
Now, have you played the other Bloodstained game? Like the one that's more of a
Ritual of the Night, like the actual big one? No, I have a copy. I was able to get a copy pretty cheap, but I haven't played it yet. But I figured since this came out first, I should play this first.
Right.
And then
It is
probably
kind of a prelude to it.
sometime next year, or maybe next Halloween, I'll play Ritual of the Night.
Sick.
There's
I'm
also
interested
Curse
in
of the
both of
Moon
them.
2 that I haven't looked into, but I think that's another like 8-bit scroller, but that one's got a platinum.
I want to check these
That
games
one's
out.
also not on Vita though. I played the physical version from Limited Run on Vita.
Right.
Because that was fun.
Shout outs to the Vita. One of the
Played it
best
at my
handhelds
office a
they've ever
bunch.
made.
I'm a big Vita boy.
I really liked my Vita. I wish like
I still like my
just
Vita,
wish
and I'd
Sony
like my
gave
Vita more
to it.
if I would have had more Vita games to play if I had not had to save the money that I'm holding.
Yeah.
And could have spent it at that booth if Whatnot hadn't fucked me.
Oh, fuck you, Whatnot.
Anyway,
Unless you want to give us money, then
no, I don't want to
Then
take
we'll
money.
recap
No, that's actually that's the one sponsorship we will not take. I won't let us.
no.
We're not getting sponsored.
Money's money.
I also played a little bit of Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, which is the Ghostbusters Dead by Daylight. Frank got me and a bunch of people codes, and we played a little bit of that. It seems fun, but whatever.
I was gonna say I saw it on your PSN profile, and I will
say for this one, the only reason I'm like, I don't really like these asymmetricals because they always die. This one I'm not worried about because you can play the whole thing offline against bots. So
okay, yeah, because that Dragon Ball one came out, and
Jared wants me to get that one and play with him really bad. Jared's been playing that a lot, so I feel like once I get back from this trip, if people don't know, if you're listening to this, it's Monday. I'm back. I had to go to my grandmother's funeral, so my headspace is a little wonky right now. Anyway. I get that and play that one with Jared.
I played the beta of it, and I just don't like that genre of games.
This one was okay because it was more just like for the Ghostbusters, you're just busting around, you're just using your PK meter, trying to find. They're really only doing it's very bare bones. Like you're only doing one of two things. You're either trying to find these rifts that are like if the ghost dies, it's like an extra life, but they've got to hide them in things. So if you can find them in objects, you you kill one of their lives, or you got to bust the ghost, which is you got to do the little proton pack, throw the fucking trap out and get in the trap. That's it so far. And on the other hand, you can play as the ghost, where you're trying to like haunt this place and like slime the Ghostbusters. And so like to get the platinum, you have to do both sides. I don't know if I'll ever get the platinum, but I'll have fun playing some. I'm 2 chapters into The Walking Dead season 1 on PS3, which you're probably asking yourself, Ryan, have you already platinumed that game 3 times? Once on the PS3, once on the PS4, and once on the Vita. How are you getting trophies in it again on the PS3? Because I imported the Japanese copy. It's all in English.
Right.
It is the exact same game. The only difference is that instead of X being select, circle is select.
The way it should have been.
It comes with some cool inserts in the because it's all Japanese for like watching the Japanese version of The Walking Dead. Oh, that was kind of cool.
That shit was huge over there. I was really surprised.
Telltale, I have almost every Telltale platinum. We should do a Telltale episode sometime. I can tell you all the Telltale. That'd be good. Maybe when new Tales from the Borderlands comes out, or the second series of the fucking Wolf Among Us, we should do a Telltale episode.
Well, we all know how I feel about these walking simulator, just
it's not a walking simulator,
do nothing video games where you just kind of walk forward and
yeah. Endwalker, is that what you're talking about?
What? No.
That's a walking simulator.
No.
It's got the word walk in the title.
It's got Walker, like Texas Ranger, Endwalker, Texas Ranger.
So that puts me at country rank 64, world rank 4. Oh, fuck me. It was 64, 420. I was so excited to say that, but I went up by 1. Now I'm a 419.
How did you go up by 1? How did that change?
Somebody
quit. Somebody threw their hat in.
The last time I checked was before I got the last trophy in. I'm a couple trophies ahead of 420.
What if every time, okay, follow me here, because I think we've had this conversation before where it was like I went up, but I didn't play anything. Like it just like numbers got weird or something.
Sometimes people get thrown off for cheating.
Yeah, like what if instead of that it was like if that person like died, they got removed from it.
They wouldn't get removed. Listen, in the far future, when I die, my Dr. Pepper will stay on the leaderboards forever
until you get
I'm gonna have
for cheating.
No, I can't get reported for cheating once I'm dead, and I'm gonna have a tombstone with a fucking digital LCD screen on it that just constantly shows. It just scrolls through all the games I ever platinumed, and it's going to be dope. Of course, it's not going to matter because I'm never going to die, because I'm going to live to see the singularity and put my brain on the internet and live forever as a consciousness on the internet, like in San Junipero, and I'm going to platinum things forever
in the metaverse.
Or maybe I'll just fucking outlast, or we'll all be dead because Ukraine and Russia caused World War III, and we all get bombed to hell.
Yeah, that's probably the most likely scenario at this point. So play video games now because
what have you been playing?
I don't know. I haven't really. I mean, I've been driving for a week.
What'd you play while driving? You didn't do all the driving.
No, I didn't. You know what? I got into my Game Boy Advance and I played a lot. I played a lot of like card games that I could play on the Game Boy Advance. So I played like the Pokemon TCG on my Game Boy. Played the Dragon Ball Z card game on my Game Boy Advance.
There's a Dragon Ball Z Game Boy Advance card game?
Yeah, it's the old like score game, but it goes up to the
what's it called?
Trunk Saga? I think just Dragon Ball Z collectible card game for Game Boy Advance. They had a copy of it at that Retro Gaming Expo.
Oh, why didn't you point it out? I love buying cards. I have I have the Dragon Ball. I have the fucking Pokemon TCG game on Game Boy Advance, and I also have the Nintendo DS Marvel game.
That I wanted to fucking because that's the Versus system, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I've been wanting to play that. Like,
I played that when it came out. I played the actual like game when it came out.
Yeah, that was a game like no one played it in my area, so I never had a chance to play it. And then whenever I started like getting into old card games and stuff, that was kind of one that just like always eluded me. I played the new version of it that's currently being done by Upper Deck. I'm not a big fan of it, but I've heard it's, different. So it's same kind of stuff with how L5R changed to the Fantasy Flight one, but I do like the Fantasy Flight version of L5R. But I played a lot of Dragon Ball collectible card games.
I can get the Dragon Ball Z collectible card game GBA 2002 CIB unused right now for $89
with the cards
$5
inside.
No, I think it's just the game.
Oh,
here's one with the cards.
Hold on. Confrontation was such a good card.
The game, the manual, some card called Red Overbearing Attack, and the game for $90 free shipping.
But no,
the game is, or I can just get a loose copy of the game itself for $15.
You get the game. It's solid. I like that game.
I need it in box.
Get it in box. I would love a box copy of that game. Because I really do like it. I love the old score DBZ. I love the retro version of it that people are still kind of keeping alive. But that is it's a hard game to learn, especially because the AI in that game is like, it feels like they just had fucking pro players like program it because they play. There's a card, called Trunks Energy Sphere, right? It's one of the best cards in the game. It prevents you from playing a combat card. And combat cards are kind of like, they're all utility, really powerful effects, but the only card that can stop them is that one card, Trunks' Energy Sphere, right?
Yeah.
And every time I play a combat card, motherfucker on the other side, the AI is just like, yeah, I got an Energy Sphere. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you won't have one this turn. Like every deck, they've got 3 Energy Spheres. And I'm like, okay, who taught the AI that this was the best card in the game?
So you're telling me not to buy this game?
No, it's just, you will have to learn how to be good at the card. Like, the thing is, I know I've been playing this game for 20 years.
I'm not going to buy this game. I'm not going to buy this game. And I'm going to it's going to be one of those games where I don't care enough about to buy it, but if I find it in the wild.
Yeah, do that.
Next year when we go to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, because you live in no, you live if you see it, point it out, and maybe I'll pick it up.
Hell yeah. It's a fun little game.
That's the thing about it. Like, if I wanted, I can have every like rare game I want right now just via eBay. That's no fun. Yeah. I like finding them in the wild. The hunt is part of it.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to play these games, I just play. Like, that's not hard.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm trying to get every Mario Party, but like, if I want to play a Mario Party, they're all fucking on that
Switch
service. So it's just like they're there. Oh, I mean, they're going to be, but
are those going to have a online multiplayer?
They fucking better. And then we're gonna play it. What have you been playing? Card games on the thing. What else?
Final Fantasy 14. I don't know if you've heard of this game.
Doesn't count.
Played a bit of that. They got the new patch went in. Very excited. Good stuff.
Doesn't count.
Halloween event.
We're gonna play some of that.
Yeah, I think that's outside of that.
I have this plan.
I have been playing.
You're gonna help me. Hold on. You're gonna help me finish out the PlayStation 4 Platinum, which is just going to be doing a bunch of fates from the original Realm Reborn. That's going to be boring, but we're just going to jam through it.
Yeah.
Once that's done and I move on to PlayStation 5, I have to do like 3,000 fucking fates, but those can be anything. And then I also have to do like a shit ton of dungeons. And you and I are going to get max level blue mages just for fun.
Yeah.
And we're also going to just do a bunch of random shit. And I'm going to eventually, the goal is to have that platinum, both those platinums done by next, do you think by December next year I could?
Yeah, I think you can do that. Games? I mean, our friend Shango did it like
that guy's a nerd.
Yeah, you're a nerd, Shango.
Fucking nerd.
Hit or miss.
I guess you never miss, huh? Hold on. Wait, I need to share my screen with you.
This is how it goes.
1 second.
That's how it starts. See, this bit right here that we're setting up right now is for one person. I guess it's for 3 people.
Over 500 people have listened to this episode already. That's usually what we're getting, right?
Something like that.
I'll share. but this is for one of them. Can you see my screen?
I can't.
Make sure that I'm not cut out again.
You're good.
Okay.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
I think I'ma just... Let me get a yellow bammer. Can I get a yellow bammer?
Ha 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 ha, jack my swag.
Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
We got you.
Thank you for indulging me. I haven't streamed in a while. I missed this thing.
I haven't either. Oh gosh, you know what? Actually, can I do a self plug real quick?
No.
One hour into the show.
Hold on. Ask me if you can do a self plug.
Can I do a self plug real quick?
No.
Oh my god. Well, guess what? Hey, I'm doing it anyways.
I found a button you can do where you can, if you have all of, like I do, I have all of my Stream Deck things in one file. You can just you can have a button that's just randomly picks one. So you can just press this button and something. I don't know what's going to happen.
Everyone shut up.
That was random.
That was a good one.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, last year about this time, Halloween, I did a special Twitch stream called John Saves Halloween. It was a show with my friend John Sucks. He's a good lad, a very competent Mario 64 player. But it's basically like I me and a bunch of friends put John through a series of hell. He had to find his way through a haunted mansion and escape, only to have one of his dear friends be dragged to hell. It's kind of one of these like role-playing experiences, I would say, but it's a cool little thing. We're doing part 2 this year, so if you want to come and watch that, we're going to do it on Saturday the 29th of October, about I want to say like 9 Eastern. The date is solid. We're doing it on the 29th. We just got to figure out the time. Like, I think we've got a time figured out. I just don't remember it at the top of my head, so just check my check Twitter, see when it's coming up, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's see what the Stream Deck thinks of your plug. I'm going to hit the random button. It's free real estate.
Oh, see? You know it's going to be good.
It's free real estate.
See, it's going to be a good show. Come on through. It'll be a lot of fun. Wear a costume. You better, if you're in the chat and you're watching John Saves Halloween 2, you better be wearing a costume. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
What?
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna be streaming more too, so get ready for that since I moved. Well, by the time you're listening to this, I should have everything in my new house right now, and I should be streaming probably sometime later this week. So come around. Streams are back to normal, and we're getting back on that horse. If you guys don't get me to 100,000 subscribers, I might cry. I might just shit my pants live on stream and just scream and have a hissy fit.
Trouble if you shit your pants live on screen and you don't show it. Like, is just the act of saying I'm shitting my pants right now, would you get banned?
I don't think so. I mean, like, for some people, that's something they can't control. Like, there's got to be a streamer out there
this is like a
incontinent, right?
That's a different. This is like, I am telling you right now.
You're just so angry
on purpose, shitting my pants.
No, okay.
Tell you what, I'm gonna add a new. Once I start streaming again, I'll add a new thing. If you pay $1,000, I'll shit my pants live on stream.
That'd be pretty fucking awesome. I had my friend who's a very big streamer. He shit his pants on stream. It was an accident, but he had a fart mic, and that's
different.
What caused him to shit his pants.
Fart mic? That's disgusting.
Yeah, he set up a fart mic up like right on his ass, and he was like, "Oh, I got one," and he pushed too hard, and he was like, "No," he's like, "Oh fuck," and he like his screen goes black, and then he's like, "I fucking shit my pants, dude."
Your friend should probably be in jail.
No. He's an American hero.
Let's stay with the random button thinks about your friend shitting his pants. Ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Oh, apparently.
Oh.
It's history that he should.
It is.
All right. Fuck this. We have an episode that we're doing. This is the spooky episode.
a game
Spooky
called
game.
Control. It was great.
Did you get the reference when they said last episode that they were in control? Get it?
Yeah, see?
These
Some
are
of you
our
were on
fucking. This is another guaranteed Tenet moment. Play the Tenet song.
What's the... I don't
know. Is there one?
What? Is it just...
No, that's Inception. There's a Travis Scott song that's from Tenet.
Does he do the Fortnite dance? And
I don't
Travis
know.
Scott
Let's do
burger?
one more random button and find out what we think of Travis Scott.
I think I'ma just let me get a yellow bammer.
Okay, well, instead of talking about Travis Scott, we're gonna listen. We're here to talk about Control. This is a Control episode because Control is one of my favorite video games of all time.
Yo, this game... It was really good. I gotta give it to you.
I have platinumed Control 5 times.
You know what? I can totally see why too, because this game isn't very long. Like, it's kind of snappy. I guess that's the right maybe the right word. Like, it's quick. It goes. It makes you want to keep pushing forward because of the just abundance of mystery in the game and just general intrigue. Like, I definitely kind of knew a lot of the twists and turns, if you would say, going into it, but I still had a blast playing it. And I think that's kind of one of those signs of, even if you know what's going to happen, or like if you've been spoiled on it, and you can still enjoy the story and everything that it in the way that it delivers it to you, even knowing all that, that's the sign of something good.
Let's talk about it really quick. So first of all, I want to say I have played this game 5 times. I platinumed it on the PS4 NA original. I imported the Japanese version, the original one that was just the game without any DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Then I platinumed it, the NA PS5 version when it was free on PS Plus. Then I imported the PS5 EU version. Then I also imported the PS5 Japanese edition. Then I imported another version of the PS4 Japanese Ultimate Edition so I could get the DLC trophy, since I couldn't buy the DLC trophy. So I have actually, and also in doing that, when I played it again, like a year later, the save didn't cross over. So I had to start the game all over again. So I've actually platinumed this game 5 times, but beat it 6 times.
God damn.
I love this game.
It's a good game.
Control is a third-person shooter Metroidvania where you are Jesse Faden, who is a lady that is trying to find the Federal Bureau of Control, which is basically the X-Files.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where it is. It's like she's looking for this bureau, but nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows what it is. It's a big secret. And this is how this game hooked me. The game opens with you walking in to the main room of what's it called? The reception room, the main office, and there's nobody behind the desk. And that's it. You're just like, where the fuck is everybody? And you walk in and you go through, and all of a sudden there's just an elevator and a man, and you walk in and you're fucking trapped, and there's fucking just these weird demon creatures attacking you, and you're in. And it just drew me in. The minute that I walked in, it was just like, oh, welcome to this Federal Bureau of Control. Nobody's there. What the fuck's going on? Yeah,
it immediately just, hey, we're going to hit the ground running now. I hope you're ready for this. Go. And it's kind of creepy. Like, not only that, the fucking game loves to throw these giant titles at you of every room you walk into, and it's scary as fuck. It's like you walk into a new place, it's just the hallway.
Maintenance. Yeah, it does that big like
TikTok boom.
Yeah.
So good. But it's definitely personality. Like it is
yeah. So we got
she's in all the right ways. Yeah, go for it. You are the king of this story. You know this inside and outside.
So Jesse walks into what they call the oldest house, which is the area that the Federal Bureau of Control is in, and she's getting these telepathic messages to the player, but she calls us Polaris. We don't know why, but it's like this sensor force that she's got that's like it's a way to like, it's a really cool way to like set up how the game can tell you which way to go, what's important by saying like it's her telepathic sense, but it's really the HUD. I thought that was smart.
Yeah.
So she walks in and she goes in to try to find, she's there to find her brother Dylan, who was kidnapped by the Federal Bureau of Control years ago, and she's been looking for them ever since to find out why. She walks in, she's in the executive branch, that's where the other brings her, and she finds the body of Zachariah Trench, who is the director, dead on the ground, and there's a gun in his hand, and the gun is breathing. That's so cool. There's just this dead guy, and there's this gun that's moving, and you're like, what the fuck?
Especially because immediately when you walk in, it's because you hear the gunshot too, right? Like going down the hallway, if I remember correctly. And it's just like,
you're correct, yes.
Oh shit, like this is a bad place for me to fucking be right now. There's a dead guy right here. And then the gun is oddly moving.
What's cool, okay, so a little, as you're walking through, it's like it's a federal office, so there are these big, pictures.
Oh, what? Wait. Oh, no, I was going to keep going.
It's a federal office, so there's these big pictures of like, federal offices, usually a big picture of whoever the president is and whoever like the director of whatever is. They didn't do the president thing just because then it times the game, which I thought was nice. But they do have this big picture of Trench as the director. Mm-hmm. So you go in there, you shoot this guy's down the ground, you pick up this gun, all of a sudden you're in another dimension called the astral plane, which they tie into the story, but it's also where they do their tutorials.
Right.
They show you how to use the gun, and as soon as you come out, that big picture of Trench that says director, now it's got your face on it.
Yeah.
Because whoever holds the gun called the service weapon is the director. And the gun chooses the director.
Enter one of the coolest fucking weapons. Like one of the coolest even plot devices for any kind of weird sci-fi thing.
The service weapon is one of my favorite video game weapons of all time, because the idea is that like that's the only, in most of these games what will happen is like, you'll get a gun, then you'll get the rocket launcher, then you'll get the this. No, the service weapon is the only gun you get in the whole game. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the service weapon can mutate into different types of guns that you can build. So like its normal one called grip form is just a pistol. Then you can get shatter form, which is your shotgun. You can get charge form, which is like your grenade launcher. You can get pierce form, which is your sniper rifle, and you can get spin form, which is your minigun. And then a couple more forms in the DLC that we'll talk about later. But I thought that was a really cool way to do it. The other thing that you supplement is you get powers.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a second. But so what happens is you pick up this gun, and all of a sudden these fucking people that were floating in the air, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? They turn red, because anything red in this game is bad.
Right.
And they attack you, and you shoot them in the head, and it's fucking satisfying. It's never not fun to shoot people in the head. And you learn that something has taken over the entirety of the oldest house, which is the name of the building that the Federal Bureau of Control is in, and it's quarantined itself off to make sure that it doesn't get out into the world. And it's the best way that they describe it is that it's like an evil wavelength that she calls the hiss, because it sounds like radio static.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like that voice in the back of your head, right? It's just kind of like you can't really make out what it's saying, but it's like, like
what's
whispering
really cool,
something to you at all.
Yeah, there's this here, right, I'll read it out. The guy that made this game, he wrote this fucking what they call the incantation, which is his incantation is basically a poem that they wrote to sound very like it doesn't make sense. It's called, you know what Dada is?
No, I'm unfamiliar.
Like it's a art movement where it's weird for the sake of weird.
Oh, okay.
So
very gonzo.
Yeah, it's even better is in universe. Should I skip a little? No, you know what? I'll keep that. Remind me to talk about this when we get to the second DLC about what the poem means.
Sure.
Anyway, I want to read this poem really quick, and this is what those people are repeating over and over and over again, and it doesn't make sense, but this is basically the signal that takes over human souls. So tell me if this makes sense to you. Ready? You are warm through time. The thunder song distorts you. Happiness comes. White pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the figures through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this to be true. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. This happens more and more now. You gave us the permission in your regulations. We wait in the stains. The word that describes that is redacted. Repeat the word, the name of the sound. It resonates in your house. After the song, time for applause. We build till nothing remains. The egg cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home. You remind us of home. You've taken your boss with you. All hair must be eaten. Under the conceptual reality behind this reality, you must wait till the waves to drag you away. After the song, time for applause. This cliche is death out of time, breaking the first, the second, the third, the fourth wall, the fifth wall, floor, no floor. You fall. How do you say insane? Hurts to be happy. An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, baby, baby. Yeah, just plastic. So safe and nothing to worry about. Ha ha, funny. The last egg breaks now. The hole in the room is a hole in you. You came and we let you in through the hole. You have always been here. The only child, a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Orange peel. The picture is you holding the picture. When you hear this, you know that you're in new you. You want to listen. You want to dream. You want to smile. You want to hurt. You don't want to be. And just repeating that over and over again for the entire game are these people in the background. That would drive anyone insane.
Right.
None of it makes sense.
It's interesting.
Just meant to be weird.
Like hearing it just like quickly back to back like that, it gave me deep Inception vibes where you're just kind of always taking a look at something inside the moment, right? Or like a specific character, and then you take it out of the frame, you know, breaking like the fourth wall, and then looking at this as like a thing, a creation, something that is outside of this reality, and then you step out that reality, and you keep doing that over and over, which is, I mean, at times what it feels like you're doing in this game.
So yeah, what it is you find some other people who, other than you, for some reason you're immune, and they think it's because you're holding the service weapon, and also we'll find out some other things later. But you find these people wearing these big, giant, like clunky speaker devices called HRAs, or Hedron Resonance Amplifiers, which were built by Dr. Casper Darling, who is portrayed by Matthew Pereda. He is if you've ever played a Remedy game before, you know that they love to mix video games with like live action.
Yeah, with like full FMV.
Full motion. And so he is like one of the only humans you ever see, and he is the head of research and development. Like he's the director of all of their research, right? And he, throughout the game, you'll find different like video logs or videos about him like going through all this stuff. He built these things because he found this thing called Hedron, which we'll learn about more later, and he thinks that it will help combat the hiss. Matthew Pereda, by the way, played Alan Wake.
Yeah,
he was also in Robin Hood Men in Tights as Scarlet Will O'Hara, which was the if you've ever seen Men in Tights, that's the Mel Brooks Robin Hood movie. He's the guy that's making fun of Christian Slater. So anyway, he's my favorite part of this game. So anyway, you find basically you find the other people that aren't taken over by the hiss, and they say, we don't know what's going on. You need to go talk to the hotline. And so through the hotline, you find out things called objects of power, which are basically like items that have altered abilities that give you special powers. This game was heavily influenced by, have you ever heard of SCP, which is the online writing project where people just like make weird shit?
Yeah.
It's also, it reminds me a lot of this show that was, this is homework for you. I want you to watch this. There was a mini series. It was 3 episodes on Sci-Fi Channel like years ago called The Lost Room.
Okay.
You ever heard of this?
No, I've never heard of this.
It was a fucking mini series about this guy that his daughter accidentally gets sucked into this weird room, and all of these items that come from the room all have secret powers, and there's this whole like secondary like secret world about people trying to find out what the room is. It's kind of got a shitty ending, and it only had 3 episodes. It had a comic book. I never read it, but it was a really fun miniseries. I suggest you watch it out there. I got a DVD of it for like $8.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, so they want you to go find the hotline. The hotline is how you communicate to the spirit of Trench, who is dead, and also you talk to the board. The board is a bunch of weird creatures that are symbolized by a pyramid, and they're from the astral plane.
Yeah.
And they talk crazy.
Yeah, you kind of see them throughout, like even the beginning of the game, in the tutorial. It's just they're saying like weird off lines to you, and then
You also, you know what? I also skipped in the very beginning. You meet a character, and then you meet him again after this because they wanted you to go down to maintenance. You meet the other coolest character in the game, which is this Finnish fucking janitor named Ati, who's just like, "Welcome, Ati, welcome you to my." He keeps saying like he's in charge. Like, this is my place. I let them be here. Now you help me. You're my new intern. Yeah. Even though you're like the director, he's like, "No, you work for me. We are going to have you clean some things up, and then I go to vacation in Finland." He rules. Anyway, so the next part of the game is you go down to the maintenance sector, and you have to you have to basically like restart some engines and shit. And then down there you meet more people on your team, and you get a little bit more of like what's going on, which is just something about the hiss has shut down everything. And in response, the oldest house has quarantined itself so that the hiss can't get out. But that means you can't get out until you stop the hiss.
Right.
So after that, they send you to the research center for looking for somebody named Helen Marshall, who is basically the head of like security. And she's down there to get more HRAs. The research sector is where you find like all the labs and like all these different things. And there's all these side missions that we can talk about later when we talk about trophies. But from there, you learn that for some reason, fucking Darling was fucking around with this thing they found called Hedron and made these HRAs. And it came from an altered item of power that you know about called the slide projector. What we find out there is that years ago, your brother got kidnapped by the Federal Bureau of Control because you two and kids in your town, you lived in a town called Ordinary. I want to say it was in Oklahoma. I just love that it's called Ordinary. But you found this slide projector that when you guys put in slides, it would open up like other dimensions. It was like whenever you put these slides in and you projected across the like on a surface, you and your brother were just like taking trips to other dimensions. So there's something special about you guys. They came, they found it, they took it, and Casper has been fucking Dr. Darling, has been fucking around with this slide machine and trying to go to other dimensions because the only slide that he has left, slide projection 38, goes to this weird place, which, hey, guess what? It's where the hiss is from. Slidescape 36, not 38. My apologies. Right. Along the way, you also go to like the containment sector where you find like where they keep all the worst objects and you meet more people. And you're kind of just slowly putting this together that like your brother was special because he had a connection through using the Slidescape, and they called him candidate. He was like prime candidate 6 because they thought he was going to be special enough to be the new director. You're prime candidate 7, and they can't find you because you've been on the run, but they wanted to abduct you too to see if you were also developing powers, which you were because of your connection to what's called to Polaris, which was the player.
Right.
So you find your brother. He's saying that weird poem. He's saying that he's now turned and the hisses got in, and he helped the hiss get through, and he's on the hisses side. And so now it's like you versus your brother, but they have your brother, and the hiss are still going on. So you do some more stuff. Well, like I said, it's not really the biggest importance here to the story, but you eventually make it to Hedron, which you find out Polaris is like this little slice of this other entity from another Slidescape that you guys went to. It's just it's like the opposite of the hiss, where if the hiss is like a frequency that hurts and kills and takes over, this is supposed to be like the nice one. Mm-hmm. And Polaris is the frequency that got stuck in you. And basically what that means is that we're Polaris, and we're Hedron. We are like the player on the other side is the nice thing leading her around, which is kind of like a cool little, that's not 100% confirmed, but it's a nice little theory of like, she opened up a Slidescape to our world and we're like affecting her.
Right. We're kind of like shepherding her.
Yeah. But anyway, you get in and you're trying to get to Hedron because Darling was experimenting on it, and you finally get through. And as you're trying to like kill the hiss, this is one of the coolest sequences in any video game of all time. You're trying to get the hiss off of this big giant, like dodecahedron. It looks like a big giant D20, right? Mm-hmm. And you're killing all these hiss as they're trying to like rip it apart, and you finally save it. And then at the end, just as you're about to save it, it fucking crashes and rips open and Hedron dies. And so the hiss is able to take over everybody. And you fucking just, there's this screen of the actress who plays Jessie. I think her name is Cassandra Pope. All this, like, they use a real live, instead of like her as the like the digital her, it's her actual like live action face going all to red, screaming and crying, and then just smiling, and credits run, and you lose. That, I screamed out loud. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And just, it's so good. And credits roll for like a good 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden, the credits start fucking up just slightly. And what it is it starts putting the poem in. And all of a sudden, it just runs blood red, and it's just the poem over and over again, and the game starts again. And it's you in black and white in a like secretary outfit in the Federal Bureau of Control. And you get more, like, every time that you do something, it like gives you like an objective, right? Go to the Panopticon and find this person. Go to research and find this. Go to this and do this. And it just gives you 3 objectives. Hand out mail, collect coffee cups, make scans. And it's just you in an office. Oh, and you're all chipper. It's like, oh, it's the first day on the job, and you're just doing menial tasks until the game tells you, oh, take some mail to the director. And you go and you pick up mail, and you go back and you go to Trench and you put it on his desk, and he just says, thank you very much. And you take it, and all of a sudden you're back into the world again of you're back to where you were. Like nothing ever happened. It's like, oh, you're stuck. This is weird. And all of a sudden it gives you the same 3 tasks. You start doing them, and you start noticing things like one of the persons sitting at the desk will now be a dead person with a bag over their head. There'll be like just fucking corpses all over the place. You'll turn around and you'll see people doing like the chant, but it gives you the same things. Then after giving more coffee cups and doing more scans or whatever, you have to pick up the mail and you go back to his room again. And he's there again. This time, though, he's like dead on the ground, but still talking to you, and you see the gun. And it does that a couple times. In fact, in one of them, Ati's there like, hey, what's going on? You
okay in here? I just want to go on vacation.
I skipped one of the coolest sequences in the game, but it wasn't very like important to I'm going to get after that once we talk about this. Sure. There's a sequence of this I need to talk, but it wasn't important to the story. It was just a fun sequence. But anyway, so you finally break through and you realize what that whole sequence was you trapped in the hiss. Yeah. The hiss had gotten into you because that Polaris Hedron had died, and so you lost your connection, and the hiss got in, and so you were just living that over and over again, and you had to break out of it, which was very fucking cool. Yeah. So then after that, when you finally do that, you get out and you go find the slide projector, you turn it on, and you go to the hiss planet or hiss dimension where fucking Dylan is. You have to get through this big giant sequence of killing things, and then you clear Dylan of the hiss. Then the game ends. Now the story's a little like what they do at that point, because they knew they were DLC. She's just like, all right, well, I'm the Federal Bureau of Control director, but I can't get out. Can't get out till I get all these hiss, but I guess I'll just keep trying. And the game ends. And it's like, it's a little unsatisfying, but the reason that they do that is that they were putting out DLC. They couldn't let you get out yet. One of the coolest dumb little things, before I get anything, is that at the beginning of the game, when she's monologuing, she's talking about crawling through a hall. Like, it feels like I'm in a wall and there's a poster, and I put the poster away and I'm crawling through a hole and I'm finally escaping. What's that from? And then the game starts. And then the last thing that happens after you beat the game and you get all the scenes and you go back and you're sitting behind your desk and you're in the after like effect, she goes, oh, Shawshank Redemption. That's what that movie was called. 20 hours later, they complete the joke, and I thought that was hilarious.
This is genius. You gotta love commitment to writing like that, right?
The writing in this game is so good. I did want to see. What did you think of one of the coolest sequences in this game? Is that to get to the slide projector is kept behind this thing called a fire break. They have all these weird like sequences where you go into basically you walk through these big giant stone doors, and then you're on a bridge in like the void of time.
Yeah.
And that's how they like, those are supposed to be fire breaks against reality shifts, because things are shifting all the time since things are weird. Well, to get to the research and development where they keep the fucking, or they call it dimensional studies, you have to get through the biggest fire break, which is called the ashtray maze. And when you go in it, before this part of the game, you can just go in it, and it's just this hallway that looks like a fucking old-timey hotel, and you're just going in circles and you can never get out. Well, Ati gives you this special fucking Walkman that you hear a dope song, and then you go through this giant phase while everything is shifting in reality, where you're doing all these fights to this big like rock song called Take Control. What did you think of that sequence?
Genius. Like that, I want to be correct in saying this, right? That hotel or that motel like kind of section, is that connected to Alan Wake?
Are you talking the Lakeview Motel? Because that's something different. Yes, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the sequence where you're listening to the Take Control while you're going through like all those walls are like kind of melting away and you're doing that big like sequence. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Barely.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So actually, yeah, you have not.
Is that
let's be honest. You have not finished the game.
No, I have not finished the game.
You might not have seen this part yet. Yes, this is like the last. This is the last thing you do before you get into that big Hedron fight, and then you get the false ending.
Because I've watched this. Like I've watched friends play through this game, and this I'm like, God, I'm like. I want to say I'm like an hour away from finishing the game. Like I'm like,
really you're about to get there.
Because
so I will say this: there was this whole thing when the game first came out. It was like, oh, wait till you get to the it was all the people that play for it. Wait till you get to the ashtray maze. The ashtray maze is so good. And when I heard ashtray maze, I thought, oh, it's a puzzle. Because I got there first, and they're like, you can't get through it. You got to be able to follow the puzzle. It's not a puzzle. It's just a sequence of really cool fights. While like they're doing all these, like the walls are turning into like geometric patterns and you're getting through them. And it was fun. It wasn't a puzzle though. But I still thought it was a really, really cool sequence. What you're talking about is that there will be some times where you have to, the puzzles in this game there's a couple puzzles in this game, but one recurring one is that sometimes to get from one place to another, the Federal Bureau of Control uses this lamp cord that takes you to a motel somewhere in Nevada that no one can find, no one can get in, and no one can get out except through one door. If you pull on this thing 3 times, and you have to solve these different puzzles that you're in a motel to solve. Like one of the easiest ones is the first time you go in, when you ring the bell, one of 3 doors opens at the end of the hallway, and you look into it, and there'll be like a couple things out of place, and you have to move them back into place. And then you do it again, you get to a second door, and you have to make things match. Like all of the fucking radios have to be on at the same time, and you get a key. And they do that a couple times, and there's some fun ones. That's what I think you're talking about.
Yeah. Because that one, I remember going through it one of the first times, and I just thought it was a very clever way of. Here's what. Let me back up a second. This is what this game does very well: is it puts small little puzzles in front of you that you don't even have to think about, and you just can still kind of walk through and do,
but you still feel smart after you solve them.
Exactly. It's something that it's so well put together and designed that it rarely frustrates you. Everything is logical. That's the thing, is everything is logical whenever you put logic into it, but nothing makes sense around you. Like it is the most obtuse and weird setting you will ever be in, but things will just slowly, like it just clicks. It's just blocks going into place, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is the thing. This is what I do next. This is where I go. Like very genius. Very like. I don't know how they would do like Control 2, right?
I can tell you how they do Control 2. Once I talk about the DLC, I'll tell you exactly how they do fucking Control 2.
I'm so excited then. Because like that's the thing is like I just want to play in this sandbox again. You know, it's not a sandbox, but I want to play in this world more. I want to play with these toys because just the team that they assembled to write this, and just the way that they can keep putting a little morsel in front of you to just be like, what the fuck? Like, it was a hard game to put down. Like, I drove 35 hours across the country, picked this game up, started playing it. I played a little bit before I like left, but like that whole week where I was in travel, I was like, I can't wait to get back into Control, because every time that I had to just put the game down for the night, I was just like, I just want to keep going on it, you know? very good stuff. Like very, very. I'll even say even the only time I would ever get frustrated would be like in a boss fight, just because I don't know. Like sometimes I just felt like maybe I was trying to brute force things a little bit too much in a fight, or be too gun ho, you know. Mm-hmm. But the best thing about this game is you can just turn on the one shot kill thing at the end. Yeah. So if you get really frustrated with something, just set that and boom.
Once we go to trophies, I'll talk about that. Yeah, so we're not done talking about the story because now we have to talk about the DLC.
Yeah, hit me with its DLC, because
first DLC is not as so. One of the things I forgot to mention is during that part with the Ashtray Maze, you find out Ati's. We don't know what Ati is. He's definitely not human. There has been theories that Ati is actually Odin. There have been theories that Ati is just some like, Norse god.
I always saw him as like your guide. Like I don't know if that's like the right. Like he always felt like someone like guardian angel is like a dumb way to explain it, but like something like that kind of always I don't know connected you to everything else. That makes sense.
Ati is definitely more than that. He is a fucking. He is designated. If you find through, like, there's all these collectibles. So there's a bunch of collectibles that are all fun to read. That are all just like different items and different missives and like memos and shit. This thing does what I really like, which is taking the paranormal and the weird and just making it like. This is a government organization. They have to explain and catalog everything. Everything has a purpose. I think it's called the new weird is what most people call it. But it's the idea that it's like taking all this shit, X-Files wise, and just categorizing it. Anyway, Ati is designated entity A001. He was there before. So the oldest house, which is this building in the middle of New York that no one can see unless you're looking for it and know about it. And it's like, it is taller than any building, and it's literally just a big giant obelisk. The fucking Federal Bureau of Control found it and just moved in. Ati was already there. He's just like, hello, I am janitor. Welcome to oldest house. So
this is my place. You work for me. Like
exactly. He just tells everybody that they work for him.
Right.
He does not acknowledge that anyone else has any power over him, but he just goes around his job of just like
he's the sorcerer supreme. You're in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Welcome.
Exactly. He's Odin.
Okay.
There's no other way to put it. He's fucking Odin. Anyway, so you find at the end of the game for the first DLC, Ati has brought you to the Foundation before to get the tape to go to the fucking Ashtray Maze. Well, all of a sudden, the board summons you to the Foundation where fucking Ati brought you because something's wrong with the Foundation, which is this thing like area underneath the oldest house, which houses the nail. The nail is the thing that basically connects the oldest house to the astral plane. What allows like the astral plane to come into the real world is the nail. And that DLC is kind of boring. The idea is that fucking what's her name? Marshall. Helen has gone like fucking insane, and she's trying to blow the nail up and disconnect the fucking oldest house from the astral plane. And you also find some logs about the person before Broderick Northmore, who is the previous director, which also fun lore when you're in the maintenance sector. They keep talking to this thing called all of the power for the oldest house comes from the NCR, which stands for or NSR, Northmore Sarcophagus Reactor. You find out Northmore was a very, very like highly powerful pyro. He had pyrokinetic powers.
Oh shit.
And you learn that they got so out of control that they built a reactor and he's just burning in there for all eternity as a reusable power source.
Yo, anyway, let me get that in like the real life. Like find me a pyrokinetic dude that we can burn forever.
Yeah. Anyway, so the big thing about the Foundation that adds to the lore is that it reveals that Northmore, when they first found the oldest house, they were in there for a little bit and they didn't really have a connection to the board. And then they found the Foundation with the nail, and Northmore goes down there and he like he went down there, and when he came back, he was under the influence of the board, and that's what changed the bureau into like having the board, like the board's connection. That's all they had. It's really kind of a boring one. You just kind of go around, do some stuff. At the end, you cleanse the nail. It adds nothing big to the story, just some backstory. Fucking kill Marshall. She gets possessed by the fucking the hiss. You kill her, and then it's Jesse being like, "I don't trust the board anymore." Didn't really add anything. Here's the important DLC.
The second
AWE, which also stands for Altered World Event, which is when something crazy happens in the world, but also stands for Alan Wake Expansion. This is the crossover between Alan Wake and Control. So all of a sudden you get a ping from one of your people that says, "Hey, something's going on in the investigation sector. No one's been in there for years. You want to go in there." And as you're going in, all of a sudden you get the hotline picks up, but it's not Trench. It's Alan Wake.
What the fuck?
And it's Alan Wake telling the story of you walking in. It's like him writing the story of, Jesse Faden walks into this, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? So what they do, the thing about the Alan Wake expansion, the big gimmick is like use of darkness and light, which if you played Alan Wake, that's like a big thing of like, the monsters in the darkness and you got to shine lights on them. So there's this big giant monster called Hartman, or the thing that used to be Hartman is what they call it.
Die Hartman.
No, Hartman. It was, so I'm not gonna, the actual DLC is just like, go over here, turn some things on, go over here, fight the thing and find out. That's not the cool part. The cool part is the story.
Right.
The story is that you find out that, how much do you know about the story of Alan Wake?
A little bit.
Kind
It's a game that I've played a little bit of, but I haven't fully completed.
Basically, the story of Alan Wake is that Alan Wake is a writer who goes to this fucking place in Washington, Bright Falls, Washington, where there's a thing called the Dark Presence that is trying to possess him and use his ability to write itself into our reality.
Right.
So it's anything that he writes comes true. And so at the end of it, Alan Wake kind of, he like imprisons himself with the Dark Presence so it can't get out, but it keeps him.
Clever.
So what happens in this is that following the events of Alan Wake, there's this guy named Emil Hartman who's a psychologist. He's trying to investigate the Dark Presence and exploit it. He gets arrested by the Federal Bureau of Control. As before they can get him, he dives into Cauldron Lake and the Dark Presence gets him. They take the Hartman Darkest Presence to the oldest house and they put him in jail in the investigation center. However, he gets out of the investigation center, and so the breaches containment, so they just wall off the entire investigation center and say that's his jail now. What happens is when the hiss happens, it opens it up and it lets the hiss into the Dark Presence, and it makes this thing. So Jesse goes there by, operation of Alan Wake, says, you got to find out what's going on, and writes basically, since he can write reality, he writes that Jesse goes in there to find it so he can fight it, right?
Huh. Okay.
So what happened? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because then this is set up for the second Alan Wake. Then basically,
this is the big thing. You learn from that. Do you remember the Hiss poem?
Yeah.
That was written by Alan Wake to convey, and I'm going to quote here from the wiki. Wake needed something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence, something that cannot be translated. He cut up sentences and words and put them in a shoebox, pulling out words and forming them together into his incantation. He did that he needed to do that to like get his way out. And so the hiss only exists because Alan Wake wrote the hiss.
What the fuck? So he's basically putting, like, he's pulling all the strings for this to happen.
He wrote it so that Jesse would have a crisis to become his hero, so that Jesse could get powers to then come get him out of the Dark Presence.
So would you say that Alan Wake is in control?
Oh, yeah. No, what it is that the entirety of Control, the whole game of Control, what the main story is that she is looking for the Federal Bureau of Control. All that stuff about like Slidescape 36 and her brother, that all happened.
Right.
But she couldn't find it. So basically, Alan Wake wrote the story of the Hiss taking over so that she could become the Federal Bureau of Control director, so that she could have the power to come break him out. And I think that's Alan Wake 2, is that Alan Wake 2 is going to be about Jesse breaking out Alan.
That's fucking insane.
Because the last thing that happens is that the Federal Bureau of Control tells them that they found a new altered world event is happening in Bright Falls, but they're getting reports of it in the future. So, and that, like, when Control happens in 2019, they're sensing that an altered world event is happening in Bright Falls in whatever year Alan Wake 2 comes out.
What a genius way to backdoor a sequel for a previous game that you've written.
So you ask what's
continue on and make this cool and interesting world that you could just continue to evolve in the future with something
what's
more.
Control 2? Control 2 is Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. That I'm so fucking interested in Alan Wake 2 now. Like, especially after, like, again, I'm right at the end of Control. I'm really loving my time with it, and I just want more. It's to the point now where it's like I want more, where I think I might go back and try Alan Wake again, just because, like, it's just the writing of this, everything about it, even the stupid little, like, and you've heard me complain about this in other fucking video games where it's like there's too many collectibles and I have to read them all to, like, really get the fun of the story, right? It's
no, but these ones are fun to read.
Yeah, and they're not even that long either. So it's like
audio files you can listen to that are like, one is like interviews with new people working there. Ones are like, welcome to the Video Viewer Control. Please make sure to, if walls start moving, please make it to a shelter. Yeah. There's one where it's like all these video files of this show that they were trying to make to teach kids,
the Threshold
kids, this fucked up, like, kid show about teaching kids who happen to be there with their parents while they're working, like, don't touch an object of power, and it just gets fuckier and fuckier every time. And then there's one where it's like one of the employees trying to start their own movie podcast, and it adds nothing to the story, but it's just fucking funny.
The team who wrote this game, I really got to take my hat off to them, because they were all in on it. They all fucking understood the homework and the objective here, and they fucking nailed it. They knocked it out of the park, and I really can't wait to see what they do in the future.
Now let's talk about the most important part. The trophy.
The gameplay.
No, I mean, we've explained the gameplay. The gameplay is very simple.
The gameplay is good.
Third person shooting, and also you get powers. Like, the first power you get, this is what I want to say. So this came out the same year as...
Oh, I actually did have a question for you real quick.
I want to say something really quick before you ask that. This came out the same year as your favorite Jedi Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this is the better Force Powers game than Jedi Fallen Order. Because in this game, they give you a couple powers. One of them is launch, where it's basically you can grab items and throw them. And that is so
fun.
Because the best part is that they have lock on. So what it'll do is you'll press L2 to just pull up a box, some concrete. Later, you can pick up a fucking forklift. And then you just pick a guy, launch it. And as long as he's not one of these, there's these one-time enemy that are flying that they get out of the way. Everything else just gets fucking annihilated. And it's so much fun.
Not only that, but, like, the whole fucking world is destructible. Like, you could just be walking and you'll bump into a desk, and that desk will fucking explode. Like, it's so fun. It is just fun to run around and fuck with shit.
You can walk through this part where there's just a bunch of chairs and you just knock all the chairs over. Yeah. Like, you go through a cafeteria. I was so surprised there wasn't a trophy for, like, knock over 100 chairs.
Yeah, right.
So much funny. You can go to this cafeteria and just run through all the chairs and knock all the shit over.
I
people
immediately was just like, oh, this is, because that's the thing, is in a game you don't have to do that stuff. That is extra work, programming, whatever. You don't have to do that. But when you do, like, it could mean nothing to your game. Like, it could just really be something that is just there as an afterthought. But goddamn, does it make your game just more? It just kind of shows that you're willing to have fun. You're willing to know that this is silly what we're doing and writing and whatever. It's not serious. Obviously, it's just fun. And the fact that they let you do that, Chef's kiss. So good.
There's 5 superpowers in this game. Only 2 are mandatory. 3 you have to go on side quests, so you can totally miss them.
That's
but
exactly
just getting
my
them
question.
all. Oh, really?
Yeah, because that was the thing. Is I was going to ask you if the extra powers were missable, because whenever I was going through, I had noticed that I was picking up like side quests, and I was like, oh, let me, like the game is fun. Like I kind of want to do the side quests. So I started doing them, especially started doing them early.
All the side quests.
And that's the thing. Like I would get powers and I was like, wait a minute. Are these like I was, and that was something I want to ask you, because then from getting the first one on, I was like, well, I'm just going to do these now just in case I do get something unlocked after it that would help play through the game.
Only 3 of those give powers. The rest of them, I'll explain. There's a lot of side quests in this game, and the main thing you get from side quests are money, ability points, which are for your tech trees, and resources to build new aspects for your gun. Yeah. So the 5 powers are, the first one is the launch. That is mandatory, and that's super duper fun.
Yeah.
The next 3 are all secondary, and they are, the first one you get is a dash.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem that useful, but it really is, because it's a way to just like evade.
It's an extra dodge.
It's a dodge. Well, no, it is the dodge. It's the only dodge. It's dodge, it's evade, it's get around faster. There's also a shield. You can put up a shield so that you can't, and you would think, oh, that's whatever, you don't need that. There's some enemies that's fucking mandatory.
Yeah, it is really helpful for you to have that shield. Like, I used it more than I really thought.
There's this one enemy that's this big giant, it's like an altered dude that turns into a big giant like bird creature, but the bird is fucking invisible until you get close to it, and the first thing it does is blast you for basically all of your health. So if you don't have that shield up, you're fucking dead. The next one is a mind control ability, which is when an enemy gets down close enough to health, you can basically see, it's called seize, and you can just make it on your team, and you can have one of those, and there's a way to upgrade it to go a couple more. It's just like, oh, I'm going to seize this dude, and he's going to be on my team until he dies.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which is mandatory, but it's the most fun, is the fucking levitate, where, hey, you can just fucking fly, and you can just jump up really high and float around, and then you get like a slow fall. And so it's like, oh, you're in a room with like 10 dudes and they're all shooting at you. Not if I jump up, get over them, pick up this forklift, throw it on them, then dash to the side, shoot 3 dudes in the head, turn on my shield rush through. Oh, it's so much fucking fun. The other side quests, most of them are either like getting items that, when you go to the Panopticon, you meet the guy that's like in charge of like storing all the items, and he has a bunch of quests of like, hey, some got out, can you find them? And the things you'll get from that are basically just ability score points for the tech, or not tech tree, ability tree, which there's 7 different tech trees. There's 8. I'm sorry. There's one for health, one for like mana. I forget what it's actually called. Energy, I think is what it's called. There's one for your melee power. You have a melee button. Sometimes you can, like, if you're getting in close and you've shot somebody, you've done some powers, you can melee them and you get some extra energy off them for doing it. It's whatever. I never really upgrade that one. But then there's one for each of the powers. So it's like, the launch one will make it cost less, make it do more damage, let you pick up more things at once, let you pick up heavier things, let you pick up dead people. The dash one just lets you fucking dash for less cost, and also you can dash through and hurt people. The shield one makes the shield stronger and also gives you a shield dash, where if you dash while the shield's up and you touch someone with it, it'll hurt them. Or you can, while you're holding the shield, you can press another button to explode your shield and do damage outright, and that's important for some trophies later. The seize one just lets you either seize more people or seize them quicker. And then the levitate one lets you levitate longer and lets you do like a dive kick. And so those are really good to do, even if you're like, there's no XP in the game. So anything you kill, you're not really gaining anything other than maybe money and everything. But it's good to do those quests because you'll get more points. There's also hidden areas in the game where if you just walk into them, you get extra points. And there's a hidden quest that'll get you a bunch of points that you don't even know about unless you're looking for it. Do you know about this one?
No, I don't. I don't think I do.
You've been to the research sector. Did you ever walk through the luck and probability sector?
No, I don't think so.
You absolutely did, and
Maybe?
you just don't remember it. There's a room called Luck and Probability where you see like a bunch of deaths with like horseshoes and a Neko cat and a 4-leaf clover. And if you what bars you from going into some areas is a clearance level. As you go through the game, you'll find like new clearance levels where it's like, oh, there's a clearance level 5 door, but you've only got clearance level 4.
Right.
The first time you go through Luck and
The
Probability,
Metroidvania part of the game.
that says like, I think it's clearance level 6, which is the highest one. You only have like level 3 or 4 at that point. Until later in the story, when you get it, if you go back and walk through that door, there's people doing an experiment on luck and probability on a roulette table, which is they think they found this equation, and the game doesn't tell you to do this, but if you look at the board, it tells you the exact thing to do, which is if you bring the as long as the horseshoe in that room is up, the 4-leaf clover is in the room, all of these lights are on, you bring this fish in, the Neko cat is doing its little hand wave thing, and you spin the ball, but you immediately don't stand on it, it will roll a lucky 7 on the roulette table that time. And if you do, you get 4 points and a gold suit to wear.
Huh.
It's entirely, you have to just pick up on context clues. The game never tells you. It's super cool.
How fucking genius.
Also, another cool thing in that area that you'll never get to do, and neither will I because you can't get it anymore, is that when the game first came out, if you pre-ordered the season pass, there was a special secondary mission made by Hideo Kojima where you go into a sensory deprivation chamber, and Hideo Kojima leads you through a meditation process.
What the fuck? Really?
There's nothing to fight, and you just sit in this tank and you listen to Hideo Kojima talk to you. The only problem is
it's his new podcast.
Yeah. The only problem is when they put out the Ultimate Edition and they did all these editions, they didn't have the rights to it, so it got taken out of the game. I don't think there's any way to physically play that anymore, even on the original vanilla one.
Damn. That's so cool. It's preserved somewhere though, right?
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll have to check that out then, because that's so fucking neat. God damn.
Okay.
What a fucking good, genius, crazy ass game.
Trophies. Let's talk about trophies.
Yeah, let's do it.
47 trophies in the base game, 10 trophies in the Foundation, and 11 trophies in Altered World event. We'll talk about the trophies in Control first. Now, this is what I want to say. Control is a pretty hard game. There are points in the game, like there are enemies that are fucking tough. There was one side boss that took me like 2 hours. That's in the original game. With the addition of the Ultimate mode, they added accessibility options. One of them is one-hit kills, and the other one is immortality.
Yes.
I will say I've platinumed this game 5 times. 3 times I did completely legit. That was both PS4s and the... I'm going to say 2 I did completely legit, the PS4 ones. The PS5 ones, the first time in NA, I played a legit, except for those bosses that I knew were bitches, and I turned on one-hit kills, whatever. So, like, the first game took me... Hold on. It took me about 3 days to platinum. 2.5 days. And then later, all in all, it took me 8 months because I had to like wait for the DLC to come out. Same with the other ones. It took me about 2.5 days. 2.5 days for the NA. The other ones having the cheat on all the EU and the Japanese versions of PS5. If you turn those on, I got all the trophies in the base game and the DLCs in about a day.
Damn.
So like if you want to don't want the challenge, just want to cheat and just want to see what it's like, I don't think it's going to take away too much. I would say maybe turn on immortality, but don't turn on one-hit kills, because one-hit kills work on everything, including the bosses. And some of the bosses are really fun to see the phases. And so if you know you're not going to die, who cares, right? If you're just trying to speed through it, though, yeah, turn on one-hit kills. The first time you play it, I would suggest playing it legit. And if you find some parts that are too hard, turn on immortality. No problem with that. But don't turn on one-hit kills. You should see the game for what it is, because when you turn on one-hit kills, a lot of the upgrades also become useless because you're like, who cares? Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does take away from it a little bit. But I find no reason not to turn on the immortality when you're facing like Mr. Tomasi or the Jesse and Swift platforms in the Foundation, which I'll talk about in a little bit. There's some bosses that are just assholes, and turning on no kill is fine for that.
For me, it was very much like when I would get frustrated at a boss or something, then it was like, well, I'll just do this so that I can keep moving on.
I'm never going to fault anyone for just doing it to get the platinum. Like, come on. This is the one game that I'll say there are 5 versions of it. At least have fun with one. And then if you want to go crazy like I did, you can play all 5.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, what's 68 times 5? Because that's how many total trophies I have from Control. Hey Siri, what's 68 times 5? 340 Control trophies. Okay, so let's go over the trophies really quick. I think that these trophies are really not that bad. I would say with no cheats, this game is about a 4 out of 10. With cheats, it becomes a 1 because who cares? You know what I mean?
Right.
But most of the trophies are pretty straightforward. It's like complete, 5, 10, and 15 side missions. Get 100,000 money called Source. Kill 1,000 hiss. Unlock 1 ability on your tree. 50 abilities at 100. Spend 50 ability points, 100 ability points. Stuff like that. Like get all the powers. There's one trophy. Even though I said those powers were what's it called? Not mandatory. They are if you want the trophies, of course. There's a trophy for constructing a different form or mod for the service weapon and getting one to. There's 3 levels of each mod you can upgrade. Get one to that. Basically just all your upgrade ones. I will say the spending 100 ability points, if you have the DLC, you don't really have to worry about that because you'll keep getting them through the DLC. In the original base game, you had to not only do every single mission, but find almost all of the secret spots because there just weren't enough ability points in the game. But that's not really a problem now with the Ultimate Edition, which, by the way, if you're coming to this fresh on a PS4 or a PS5, you don't have to get the original vanilla. They put out an Ultimate on PS4, so you can get one that comes with all the DLC. Just get that. But get it on PS5 if you got it, because it looks better.
I think I got mine through like a Humble Bundle or something, because I have it on PS5 and I have it on, PS4, and then I have
the PS5 one was also free on PS Plus sometime. I can tell you exactly when, because I got the trophies as soon as it came out. Control was free on PS Plus in February of 2021. You might have picked it up without knowing about it.
Yeah, I usually pick it up pick everything up no matter what, but yeah, I definitely got it on PC for free from something, and I played it through PC.
There's also a couple trophies for Control points are basically your checkpoints. You need to cleanse 25 of those. There's more than 25. You'll get that with no problems. There's one for collecting 120 collectibles. There are far more than 120 collectibles. Yeah. But the thing is, even after I got 120, I kept picking them up because I wanted to read them all.
Yeah, like even just casually going through, I kept getting like all the little micro achievements for it and stuff on Steam, and I was just like, geez, I'm fucking knocking these collectibles out.
There are 5 trophies for the 5 optional bosses. The 5 optional bosses are Essige, which is you can find this mirror that goes to a mirror dimension and you fight like your evil doppelganger. Mm-hmm. That's a fun fight because it's basically you're fighting yourself with all your powers. Yeah. There's one for fighting. There's this whole side mission where you find out that this interdimensional mold has taken over the basement in the research sector, and it's infecting people and turning them into mold men. And you need to go down there and like become immune to the mold men, and then fight Mold 1, which is this big giant, like, you ever see Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah.
The big giant plant monster named Mold 1. And it's really funny. There's this scientist who's like, I need you to go down there and give me some samples. And you go and you fall down this hole and you fight this giant fucking plant that is a hard fight. You kill it and you get out and you finally make it back. You get here. It's like, hey, that thing took over and it like developed its own hive mind and I killed it because it was making all the mold. She goes, you fucking killed it. Why didn't you bring me back a live sample? I could have grown. It's like, that thing was killing and eating people. It's like, yeah, but we could have looked at it.
Yeah, we could have studied it. Come on. Science.
The hardest boss fight in the game, even out of the normal bosses and the like sub bosses, is this fight against a guy named Mr. Actually, maybe not if you count the DLC. There's one harder. I'll talk about that. There's this fight against a guy named Mr. Tomasi, who's the old head of like security or whatever, and he's turned into this big flying guy that is just a bitch to fight because he keeps summoning these dudes that are like kamikazes, mm-hmm. and he flies up high where you can't shoot them. and I had to eventually cheese that one. When I was playing legit, somebody found a strategy where if you fly up to this corner and you sit in this one corner, the guy will try to come to you but get stuck, and you just fucking shoot him in the head a billion times. There's one called you have to defeat the anchor, which is this altered item, which is a big anchor that's making all of these clocks. Like, there's this fucking mission where you find this guy next to a bunker who's like been shot and he's bleeding out, and he's like, please, you got to go over here and go through the motel to get to this sector that's been walled off. We were in there looking at something on a mission when the hiss happened, and he got stuck back there, and I made it out. And so you go and you find this guy in this area where there's like a billion of these clocks that keep reproducing, and you don't know why. You get him out. You go back to the guy that was bleeding. And you find out he died and turned into a hiss while you were gone, because like the bullet also hit his fucking resonator. And so they didn't know, but eventually it shorted out. The hiss got him immediately. But he's like stuck because he can't move because he was shot. So it's like this really touching, like, reminds me a lot of playing The Walking Dead, where you got to like walk up and shoot this guy in the fucking head. And then you go and you're like, what fucking caused this? And you find out there's this anchor that is an altered item that is making all these clocks for some reason. And you have to just fucking fight it. And it's this cool thing of the anchor. There are these 4 platforms, and the anchor keeps opening up and firing this laser beam, and it goes in a counterclockwise manner, but you have to go clockwise to get around it. And you have to basically break up its clock form, throw these exploding clocks in it to fight it until it'll drop the clocks, and then you can shoot it. That's a fun boss fight. And then the last optional boss fight is you have to fight Former, which is you have, when you're in the Panopticon, you see this guy sitting in a room that's looking at this fridge, and he's like, somebody help. And you go up, it's like, what's going on? It's like, I'm on fridge duty, which is there's this refrigerator, and if someone isn't constantly staring at it, it starts murdering people. And I don't know what's going on, but I've been on this shift for 2 days of constantly like putting stuff in my eyes so I don't blink, because if I blink, it'll murder people. I've been trapped. You've got to help me. And so you go through this. It's like, yeah, you go back and you're like, this guy's on fridge duty. He's like, and the guy that's like the head of the Panopticon goes, oh shit, we forgot about Frank. And he's like, okay, I've unlocked the door, go get him. And of course, when you're in this, you're like, I'm coming in. Look at everything's fine. You have to walk through this little section that's like an airlock where you can't see it for a second. And of course, that's when he loses connection. And you get in there, and where Frank was standing is just a giant blood stain. You have to touch the fridge and go into like the fridge world, and there you have to fight Former, who is one of the guys. Basically, he's a former board member. He's what the astral plane things look like, and he looks like this big giant whack-a-mole worm. And it's this fun boss fight of you trying to shoot him in the eye while he's making the stager disappear. So like there's a timer of if you don't kill him fast enough, there's just nowhere left to stand.
Oh God.
And then so what's else? Then there's one trophy for each of the 10 missions. There's one trophy for each of the powers, like, take 10 people over with seize, kill people with launch, 10 kill 10 with shield burst, use launch to throw a grenade at people. And then there's the 4 annoying trophies of this game. These are, you can't cheat these. There's something you can't control. And it's 2 of them are for completing board countermeasures, which are basically anytime you go to a checkpoint, you can take up to 3 side quests where it's like kill 5 people with the grip in the executive board, kill 1 of the big giant hiss altered enemies, kill 3 enemies kill 50 enemies without dying, kill 10 enemies with headshots, stuff like that. You just have to find 25 that you can do. And sometimes it's like you'll get one to like kill 3 like hiss guards, but it's like, I don't remember which one's a guard. And then you're just waiting and you're just randomly hoping something will pop up. But the most annoying one is for these bureau alerts, which is randomly while you're doing just anything, all of a sudden this alarm will go off and it'll say in big yellow letters, bureau alert in maintenance. And you have 30 minutes to make it to maintenance and do a quest. And if you die, even if you're not there, you fail. It's random when they pop up. You don't know when they're going to pop up, and you need to complete 5 of them. And some of them are really easy, just like go here and kill these guys. Some of them are like escort missions where the escorts are really fucking stupid and walk into bullets, and you'll fail that even though you're trying. And so that one's just annoying because no matter what you do, you just have to kind of wait for it.
Yeah.
Have you done any of those?
Nope.
They're important because those are the only way to get. So you need these upgrades to, like I said, you need to upgrade your weapons. Well, in the DLC, there's one to upgrade this very specific type of weapon called Surge from the Altered World event, and you have to get to level 3, and the level 3 one takes these special fucking upgrade items that don't drop, and you just have to fucking randomly get from those, and it takes like 10 of them, and it's very annoying.
Oh, shit.
All right, DLC in the Foundation is probably also way annoying because it's got these trophies for completing all of the missions, so all of the side missions and all the normal missions, and finding every collectible, which sometimes that's just annoying because you might miss one, and finding every hidden location. Now, in Altered World event, they switched that to finding 80% of those things, which is kind of nice because you can miss a couple. But in the Foundation is like, you got to find them all. And what'll happen in every single playthrough is I'll get through and there'll always be like one or two is like, oh, fuck, I missed one. And then it's just sitting there going through this list and then going through your list in the game. But the thing is that they're not in any, like, they're not in alphabetical order. They're not order where you got them. They're in just some random fucking order. So it's just going through. It's like, did I find this one? Yeah. Did I find this one? Yeah. I didn't find this one. Fuck. Okay. So that's kind of annoying. There's also, you have to kill 50 of the newest type of hiss. You have to use the new power 100 times. That's not too hard. You have to kill 100 enemies with Shield Rush. If you're playing in the Ultimate Edition, there's a new power called Shield Rush that you can get back in the original game and start doing it there, which is nice. Same with in the Altered World event, they give you the ability to multi-launch, which is when you do the launch power, if you spend a shitload of points at the end of the thing, you can pick up 3 at once. And if you kill 3 people with 3, you get a trophy. But you can do that anytime, which is nice. I'm talking a lot.
You got take a breath, my friend.
2, 3 really okay. There's a couple of annoying trophies in the Foundation.
Yes.
The first one, there's a fun trophy where you have to find a bathroom that's actually the astral plane. You'll just walk into it, and that's funny. One of them is a side mission called Jesse Faden, starring in Swift Platforms, which is one of the optional bosses. It's you find this altered item called the film camera. And when you get on it, all of a sudden you're basically in an 80s action movie where you're on basically these train platforms while this 80s synth music is playing, and you have to fight enemies while dodging fucking platforms. Like there's 2 platforms running like next to each other, and sometimes there'll be like a sign in front of one, so you got to ditch to the other and ditch back. It's where I keep saying they teleport. The levitate is very important, but like it plays just like there's Act 1, there's Act 2, and then the actual boss at the end is called the third act villain. It's like playing like you're in a movie. It's very fun. It's got cool music, a lot of neon. The boss is a super bitch to fight because you're fighting it while it's constantly dodging and moving, so you can barely get a shot off. And you're fighting it while it's much like that Mr. Tomasi guy. It's throwing these kamikaze dudes at you, but you're also on a platform where you're constantly having to make sure you don't get hit. It's hard, but it's fun. There's another really fucking annoying trophy called Supportive Staff, where what they introduce in this is that they have these little stations where you can call in a guy to fight with you, like this ranger dude with a gun. So there's a trophy to have him get 5 kills. Doesn't have to be the same guy. You can do it in parts. The only problem with that is they suck at shooting, and when they do shit all damage. So what you have to do is if you're turning on the one-hit kills, you got to turn them off. You got to shoot guys to like a sliver of health, and then just wait and have this guy shoot at them until it kills them, and it's completely random if he's going to do it or not. But not annoying, but one of the longest trophies in this is there is a giant sweeping puzzle to find 8 hidden Maneki Nekos to solve this puzzle. And I won't get into that because that's super long, but it's like you got to do these 8 very specific puzzles. Like one is that in this big sequence in the astral plane, there's these gold boxes that they use as keys, and you have to shoot one through a bathroom stall, and it'll show up in that astral plane bathroom that I was talking about. So you can slot it in, and all of a sudden that thing will pop up. You need to look up a guide for this, but you do these 8 puzzles to find these 8 Maneki Nekos, and you open up this door that's got 8 locks on it. And in the end, you get back there, and there's a big giant picture of a giant Maneki Neko and about 1,000 Maneki Nekos, and the reward is you get to wear cat ears. So that's fun.
Perfect.
The trophies in Altered World event, with the exception of 2 are all pretty easy. It's, fight Hartman, defeat Hartman. You got to find 80% of the hidden locations, not all of them. You got to find 80% of the collectibles, not all of them. You got to use that multi-launch. You have to use the new Surge, which is basically a sticky grenade launcher. You got to do that. You got to upgrade it. You got to kill 50 enemies with it. You got to attach a sticky grenade to a launch and then throw the launched item at that and blow it up. You got to kill 25 of the new enemy. And then they added this like arcade mode, which is like a horde mode thing. You got to do that once. The annoying part is that there's a trophy called Vending Spree to destroy 80% of the altered vending machines in the investigation room, which is in the investigation sector. There's all these vending machines, which you've seen before. They're just like an item that's in the world. Well, randomly, 5 of them are actually possessed and you have to shoot them and explode them. The only problem is they have like a 1 in 100 chance of being possessed. So what it ends up being is that you have to keep running from one sector. There's this run you can do where you go across like 6 or 7 vending machines, and you just have to keep running it, shooting the vending machines, hoping they explode. And when they don't, you have to save, quit out, start over again, and do that so that they have this chance to respawn. Each time I did that, it was hell, and it took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours each time because the spawn rate is so fucking low. Also, if you're going to do that, now's the time to turn on one-hit kills again, because when I had to do that, so when I did it in the Japanese DLC, that one is the last one I did that was ran recently. So that was the Ultimate Edition, and it had the one-hit kills. But when I did it the first time without one-hit kills, sometimes you'll shoot those things, they won't die, and they'll get away.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was hell. Anyway, that's all the trophies. For fun, I give this game a platinum. For trophies, as much as I love this game, just for those annoying ones alone, I'm going to take a point off and say gold, because I would say 90% of the trophies in this game are very easy, and you can get the platinum, but there's just a couple trophies that are just real fucking pains in the ass.
Yeah,
even with cheating.
I feel you there, because just casually going through it myself, like I was just hitting most of the trophies, and I was like, wow, this really doesn't feel like a challenge at all. Like I feel like if you are someone who is even more on the casual side of gathering trophies, like this is one that you might want to just go for. It doesn't. You
fucking say that, and you're like, oh, it's so casual. And it is, to get 90 to 95% of them. Yeah. And then you'll get those 3 trophies that are just a pain in your ass. But when you get them, they suck, but they feel good to get. You know what I mean? It's like,
but that's the thing, is at least it's not like a whole game where you are just sitting there trying to grind it out like hour to hour to hour. It's like, no, you're going to have a super fun, enjoyable game for like 10, 15 hours if you do all the DLC and stuff, and you'll get most of those trophies. And then, those last 3 that you got to grind out. It's like, but that's fair. I think that's like when it comes to finishing off like a trophy collection like that, I think it's okay to have like those 3 that are rough, instead of building the whole game around just an arduous task of trophy hunting.
90% of them are easy, 10% are hard, 5% of that hard are earned hard, and then, like I said, there's just like 2 trophies that are just like, fuck you for this trophy. And it's really just, it's the vending machine trophy is just fucking boring. It's the getting the thing for that upgrade the Surge to maximum level, because you just have to keep grinding until you find it, and it's that deployed 5 Rangers kills, because it's just like, I don't have any control over this. I just have to sit here and wait for the AI to not be an idiot. So out of 68 trophies, only 3 of them are like, fuck this. That's not that bad.
But I give this game.
And you don't even need those 3 to get the platinum. Those are all DLC trophies.
Exactly.
What do you?
But you want that 100% though.
Well, you gotta have that 100% 5 times. Or you're not a real gamer.
It's a platinum though. This game's so fucking fun to play. It's just charming. It's charming in the way that it's written. I love the FMVs in this. Like if you look, that's how you do FMVs in games. So you just have it the way this game does it. Do it that way. Like I love so much about this game. Yeah, sure. There were like just a couple times where I was just getting frustrated against the boss, but it's like, hey, there's accessibility, accessibility options there for you. So please utilize those when you're playing this game, because like after that, it just made the game so much more pleasurable. For me.
I mean,
like
here's
I
the
love
thing: they
this
may
game.
be hard, but they are. Like I said, I did them.
It's not
I
like
did
they're
them twice.
unfair though. That's
I
the
did them
thing.
twice completely legit, and then one time semi legit, and then twice super cheaty.
Yeah.
And I will say that like they are doable. They just take some time and effort, but they're not like fucking this is impossible doable. They're just like, this is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to cheese it a little bit.
I love every time going to the astral plane and just having that like small little section of like combat puzzling. Like I love it all. I think this game is fucking phenomenal.
You said you like the FMV. Did you find the secret Casper Darling in his underwear doing a music video FMV?
No, I have to look that up now.
You gotta look that up.
I'll look that up.
Casper Darling goes insane and does a music video. And it's him taking off his like jumpsuit and he's doing it in his tidy whities.
Singing Goodbye Horses.
Not exactly, but yeah. But yeah, Control is, I want to go on record and say it's the best game that we've ever played on this show. Out of all the games we've done, it's the number one.
Have you played Dark Cloud?
Yeah, it was dog shit.
Stranger
I'm not gonna let you sit here and say Dark Cloud is better than Control.
Hey, remember we saw Dark Cloud for like super expensive this past week? It was like $100.
Dark Cloud really weren't that much, or were they just
it was a sealed copy.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah. But it was a sealed.
You want to talk about all
Greatest
those
hits,
bullshit graded games we saw that were like, I want $85,000 for this game. Go fuck yourself.
That's the thing. That's what's ruined fucking the card market, is because everyone thinks that like this common fucking Pidgey you had in your fucking childhood collection is worth $500,000 now if you put it in a plastic seal. No, they're fucking card games.
I was talking about video games.
I was gonna relate that to it's a card game. Play with the cards. They're meant to be played as a game, much like these video games that you are locking into boxes. It's just like play the game. Like
I saw a sealed Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, how much was it?
$400.
Yeah, fucking.
That one wasn't graded. That was just sealed.
Oh yeah. But that was.
I mean, hey, that makes sense. It's fucking sealed.
But that's the thing. It's like
fault them for that.
I don't fault people who want to like.
I don't
have stuff in their collection or whatever, but like
because I want to open them up and play them.
Yeah,
like a couple of the games I bought were a little bit more because they were sealed, but there was like those Vita games where it's just like, but I want to play it, and it was really funny. One of the games I bought, the guy was just like, this is going for a little bit more. He's like, yeah, it's sealed. I was like, yeah, oh yeah. Well, I'm just gonna open it, and it was a guy selling video games. He was like, oh, so you get the extra platinums. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I get it, but like, it's sealed. I gotta charge more. And it's like, I get it. And I bought it.
Like, I don't know. I just think that like grading them is the dumbest thing in the world right now.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
it's fucking okay. So
which
back to it,
I would totally do it.
Hold on. Yeah. The dumbest fucking booth there is Wada had a booth there where you could come up and like get your games graded there. Like you could submit them and they would grade them later. But they had this booth and they had this wheel. And when people have a wheel, the wheel is to spin to get people to come up and talk to you, right?
Right. So that you can tell them what your business is.
Yeah. And so there, I was like, what's this wheel about? And it's like, oh yeah, we're Wada, and we're if you want, you can earn the right to spin the wheel. It's like, all right, what are you gonna do? Like sign up for a newsletter, bring us a game, pay to have it graded, and you can spin the wheel. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I looked for what was on that wheel. It was like pen, book, like cheap shit. It's like, you want me to number one, spend at least $60 to get a game graded. Number two, go against all my morals to get a game graded so that I can maybe win a fucking Wada notebook.
On Sunday they were just like, fucking sign up for the newsletter. We got to get rid of this stuff. We don't want to take it back with us,
I don't know. Oh, you know what else I got? I never even talked about. So Whatnot was doing a raffle.
Yes.
And so I signed up for the raffle. And when you sign up for the raffle, you could play a little Plinko board. And it was mostly like, you can win a sticker, you can win old cards, but then they had like two grand prizes. One of them was like Vita or some fucking like Switch games, and the other one I got, which was their grand prize, was we made our own Whatnot NES game. We only made 100 of them. You can have one. I was like, all right. So I got this fucking NES cartridge that says Whatnot on it. I was like, this is.
I remember seeing it. It didn't even have any like fun art or anything.
No, it just has a W on it.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is smash it with a hammer live on Whatnot. I'll make a Whatnot arcade and I'll be like, all right, here's what we're doing. I'm auctioning off the right to smash this with a hammer. I think that'd be very funny. Yeah. Okay, we did it.
Yo, I got an email for you.
Oh, we got email? I'd like an email.
You got a call?
For caller, go ahead.
Yo, this is a first time, long time.
Oh, I do love those.
From our good friend.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bury the lead here now.
Oh.
I'll save that to the end of the email. It says, hey, Plat Pack. I finally have time.
What? Wait, hold on.
The Plat Pack.
Okay.
Isn't that good? Isn't that a good name? Why have we never thought of that?
Hey, speaking of, there was this dude there's a video out there now. There's this dude from Australia who like makes videos about platinum stuff. And he was like, submit your name and I'll rate your platinums. I was like, all right, whatever. I put that in months ago and I guess it finally happened. I watched it and it's just some guy reading all of the platinums I have, but it, like skipping all of like the easy ones. And it's just like, oh, it's a game. And he would like not know sometimes what the game was, or like, this, okay. Oh, I like that you played this game. It was really weird. Like, hey, good for him for like making videos. But it was really weird to have a guy just like reading names of video games and being like, I don't know what this is. Well, then why the fuck did you make the video?
You're just making a video to make a video.
If you want to watch that, search what the fuck. I forget the guy's name is, but just search Dr. Pepper on YouTube and you'll probably find him. He's an Australian bald guy. Anyway, go ahead.
Finally having time to send my buds an email on a simple topic that probably everyone loves to hear: food. I'm sure, and I think I know where this is going. I'm sure you guys eat while collecting trophies or watching a long ass cutscene. So I was wondering, what do you both chow down on, whether it be a meal or a snack? I'm excited to hear your response. My food of choice of playing something like GTA Online is a Club Supreme from Jersey Mike's. The only acceptable sandwich I'd pay over $10 for. Or if I want a snack, a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and a wild cherry Pepsi Zero. And while on the topic of food, I want Ryan to rank every dish he's had at Din Tai Fung on the trophy scale. Your bud, Kevin, the wrestler in training who hopes to debut by the new year. P.S. Don't take bumps. They suck eggs.
Yeah, what's up, Kevin?
Yo, what's up?
Kevin,
wrestling's the best.
I didn't know that you were going to start wrestling. I knew that you were... dude's been a ref at Millennium Pro Wrestling and he's showing me some of his shit and I've watched it and it's really cool. Yo, congratulations. Yeah. If you're going to start wrestling, be careful. Take care of yourself. Don't fucking... Oh, man. The other night, they did, because of baseball, they did Dynamite instead of Wednesday. They did it on Tuesday. And the final match was Hangman versus Mox. And Moxley went for like a lariat and accidentally clocked him in the head and knocked him out. The only problem is he knocked him out midair. So when he fell on his fucking head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, big concussion.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was way worse because the way he landed, they thought he broke his neck. Thankfully, he did not. It's just concussion, which just a concussion is still bad, but like, shouts out Hangman.
God,
Hangman is the fucking secret hero of AEW. He is as much as everybody loves everybody, like, you know, I love Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor and all these wrestlers. At the end of the day, Hangman is the best. Like, he is the Rock of WWE. He is the people's champ. He is the people's choice. He will always, and really, he would have to do something dastardly to become a heel. He'll never be a heel. He will always be the people's champ.
Right.
Anyway, shout out Hanger. Get well soon, buddy. We support you. You'll never listen to this. You have no idea who we are, but we love you. Kevin. So, okay, best snack while playing video games, something that's not going to get all over your fingies.
Well, I feel like we've answered this email, so I definitely want to tackle.
We didn't answer this email.
Have we not? No, like something similar to this, right?
No, never.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you snack on then? I know what I snack on. That's Cheez-Its. I fucking love to eat some Cheez-Its.
I hate Cheez-Its, and Cheez-Its go against the getting things on your fingies.
No, Cheez-Its are great because they're a cracker. They don't leave a lot like on your fingers.
They got fingy residue. See, I'm a healthy boy. I'm a health man. I'm a healther. I don't eat this garbage. So I've gotten my diet a lot better recently. I would say my favorite snack is like a peanut butter with and a banana. Or maybe some nuts. I like a cashew, pistachio.
Yeah, cashews are great.
Those are good. Sometimes I'll have some grapes. Sometimes I will make a little hummus plate which is, some hummus and some pita and like some carrot sticks and some celery sticks and some broccoli. And I'll throw a couple meats on there, some Kalamata olives, maybe some onion and some goat cheese and feta, and just chow down. I love making hummus plates.
Yo, I'm I don't know. I don't know. Cheez-Its are always my go-to snack.
I fucking hate Cheez-Its.
I think like crackers. I like
Cheez-Its taste like fucking nuclear garbage waste.
They can. There's sometimes where I'm like, I'll eat some and just be like, I think I'm good on Cheez-Its for like a good
it's weird. I love like nacho cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I love like cheddar and sour cream Ruffles. I don't like Goldfish Cheez-Its. The things that are like
all that.
I don't like the cheese cracker cheese. Cheese.
I like cheese crackers a lot because like when it comes to like potato chips and stuff, like I'm not. I don't know. I'm not like the biggest potato chip person, I guess.
If I'm gonna eat a potato chip,
cracker,
if I'm gonna eat a chip, I'm gonna prefer either a Sun chip. Those are my favorites. A Funyun or a Dorito. If I'm gonna have a potato chip, I'm going to go for like a fucking Ruffles because I don't like Lay's are a little too thin.
Yeah,
and they just feel like eating paper. I want some crunch.
Yeah. Well, you get those Lay stacks. You get the crunch and the salty. Those are like dry your mouth out salty.
I'm gonna say something right here. I don't think Pringles are good. I think
no. They're totally different. Pringles.
I know they're totally different. But like, I just want to say also, I don't think Pringles are good. I think Pringles are too lax on their seasoning, and so it just tastes like you're eating paper.
Well, they don't have enough potato content to be considered a potato chip.
Is that true?
That is true.
Crazy.
Yeah. But Lay stacks, they are a potato chip. They're all right. Definitely. But
let's get to what everyone cares about.
Yo.
Din Tai Fung. Now, I'll have you know, there's a Din Tai Fung in Portland. And on the way, when I was fucking like pissed, I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. Mm-hmm. Before I left, I stopped by the Din Tai Fung in the Washington Square Mall and got Din Tai Fung to eat in my car on the way home. And then I had extra that I kept so that I could wake up the next morning, reheat it, and have Din Tai Fung for breakfast.
Genius. That's the play.
So he wants us to do what now?
Yeah, you got to rank it. Rank every dish you've had.
I've had a lot. Okay. I mean, S tier. Gotta go start with S tier. S tier, the green beans. The garlic sauteed green beans are S tier. On another appetizer, the sweet and sour pork baby back ribs. I'm gonna call that A tier. They are good. But they're pretty expensive and you only get like 4 or 5 of them, and that's hard to share with a group.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good. I'm not usually much for pork ribs, but the sweet and sour sauce is pretty good. It's a little tangy. The cucumber salad, B. The cucumber salad is just some cucumbers with, it's like if they wanted to give you pickles, but instead of giving you the pickles, they just gave you cucumbers with like the sauce on top of it, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I still like a good cucumber. It's crunchy. So I'll give that a B. The pork xiaolongbao, just the straight pork dumplings, S tier. Those are the thing you go for. It's just pork and soup. The crab and pork xiaolongbao are going to get a B, and I'll tell you why. I don't think crab and pork go together very well. So you get like the pork is there, and then you get this crab, which I like crab, but I don't think the flavors meld together. So like they feel too separate.
Okay.
All right. The chicken dumplings are a solid B. They're good chicken dumplings. They got a little soup in them, but like it's just a chicken dumpling. It's nothing special. The shrimp and pork dumplings now. And it said crab and pork don't get together. You know what does go together? Shrimp and pork. Fucking amazing. Very, very good. You get the pork. You get that crunch of the shrimp. I thought they're great. The shrimp and pork shao mai, that's where it's like a little purse, and then it's got the pork and the soup inside, and then it's got the little like medallion of shrimp on top. S tier, because those are, you can bite the top and you get the pork and the soup, and then as a little treat you get a little piece of shrimp. The pork buns, I'm gonna call those B tier. I like the pork buns, I really do, but the problem is I feel like there's too much bun and not enough pork. But that's not their fault. I think I'll take a pork bun anywhere. They have them at Disneyland and they're good. but I think that's something inherently with pork buns is that there's too much like of the outside and not enough of the inside. And it's like, yeah, you're supposed to dip the outside so it gets some flavor, but I don't know. I feel like I could use less dough and more in, the pork. The shrimp and pork spicy wontons. These are the ones that they're like kind of, these ones aren't crispy like the other ones. These are like the steamed ones. So they're floppy. They're fine. The spice is good. They're a little floppy for me, but shrimp and pork and the spice is good. Chicken spicy wonton, same thing. I call the shrimp and pork carbonara wontons an A. Chicken spicy wontons a B. What else have I had there? So yeah, we said the string beans with garlic. That's S tier. SSS, triple, quadruple S tier. String beans with garlic. Cannot be fucked with. The best bean. What else have I had there? The shrimp and ciabatta pork pot stickers where they come like that's the crispy ones. Those are, I'm going to say like, I'm going to call them A. They're good, but they're like stuck together. And it's just like everything else though is so much better. Their noodles and spicy sauce, they do a good noodle, but it's noodles. It's a B. It's like you can't fuck up noodles, but you're not going for noodles, right? I got white rice, sticky white rice, A tier. I mean, just white rice by itself. How can you fuck with that, right? What else? And then for desserts, I've had 2 desserts there. So they used to have one that's not on the menu anymore. They had these black sesame ones. I'd call those like black sesame tastes a lot like peanut butter, but with like more of a grainy taste. I know that my friends love those and I think they're the best thing ever. And I thought they were okay. I call them B. But the new thing they have is a chocolate mochi xiaolongbao, which is basically just like this little dumpling full of molten chocolate pudding.
Oh, that's
fucking S tier. They're like chocolate gushers. As far as beverages, I've gotten the boba tea there. It's good. Boba tea, A tier. And then for the drinks, they have a pear lychee martini. I'd call A tier. And then they have another one. I don't remember what was in it, but it was called a Sailor Moon. And it was very good. I call that an S tier. All right. That's everything I've ever had at Din Tai Fung. You now live near Din Tai Fung. Can we say that?
I don't know about that one. How many Din Tai Fungs are there?
There's one in Seattle. There's one in Portland. There's one in San Francisco. There's one in LA. There's one in San Diego. And there's one in Taiwan.
See, people are going to know that I live in Taiwan.
You got to bleep that out. Next time I come up to see you, we should go to Din Tai Fung.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you know what? They also had a fried pork chop. C tier. It's just kind of dry. I took a date to Din Tai Fung once, and she claimed that she was allergic to all vegetables because she could taste the chlorophyll.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the only thing that she could eat was a fried pork chop. I've never talked to that girl again.
Yeah, that sounds like the right thing to do.
I don't trust anyone that says they don't like vegetables.
You know what? I was somebody who would have been that person, but I think I've come around. Like, I think I've grown up on that.
I love vegetables. Salad is probably, if you're talking top 5 favorite foods of all time, it's like sushi, curry, ramen, salad, and burritos. Burritos is my favorite food group. Burritos is great food.
Holy shit.
Pizza and fucking meatloaf and fucking
here's the best gamer fucking food. Here's like my like Friday night, like just want to hang out with friends and play games online. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna order a pizza, pepperoni pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about the crust size. Like I like it all thin, Detroit style, fucking pan. Mm-hmm. Like I love all. I don't care. It can vary. But I want extra sauce, light cheese.
You're a monster. It's Friday night. I want a game with my friends. Here's what I'm ordering: Philly roll, crunchy roll, Las Vegas roll, an order of unagi, an order of Ika, and some gyoza on the side. I will not eat all of it, but I want pieces of a little bit of each, and then I'll eat the rest the next morning.
It's fair.
Sushi, baby. I'll never say no to sushi.
Yo, we do also have a Tylon talk.
Tylon talk. Take it easy.
We just saw him.
Yeah, we did. Our boy, Tylon.
What does he want?
Tylon says, "Hey, Doc and Chris, how does Super
Why am
Fun?"
I so mean whenever?
Tylon's like your Arkwright. Like he's the guy that you've known Tylon longer than me.
That is true.
So you can be a little bit more personal. Like Arkwright, he's like my whipping boy. Like I can like clown on him when I want, right?
Yeah.
So I had a super fun time hanging with y'all at Portland Retro Game Expo. After getting the collector's edition of New Vegas, I've started working on getting the platinum for the game, which I've already made good progress on, and I've completed the crappy caravan trophies. So the rest should be a
fucking caravan trophy sucks so much ass. Tylon, you should use a guide that tells you how to set it up so that you can get to a point where you don't have to do the game 6 times and you can have all the endings ready to go. All right.
Last week, the two of you were talking Marvel and more importantly about who you wanted to play Dr. Doom. Now, I don't know who should play him, but what I do know is that Dr. Doom should be a Darth Vader situation where there's an actor in the suit and a voice actor for the voice of Dr. Doom.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm into that. I totally
like
am
you
down
said,
for that.
I want Doom to never take the mask off.
Yeah, definitely. Just find like a really good stage actor, like someone who can be expressive with their body, or like in a very like commanding sort of way.
He's not big enough, but like bring back Andy Serkis.
Yeah, just have him do it.
I don't think he's tall enough. Or who's that other guy? Doug Jones, the guy that plays like everything else.
Yeah.
He was like the dude from Pan's Labyrinth with the eyes in his hand, or he was like Abraham, what's his name? From
Lincoln from
Hellboy?
Vampire? Oh, okay.
No. what was the fish man from Hellboy?
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's Abraham, right?
Hey Siri, Google Hellboy Fishman. Hold on.
Please hold. Serious searching.
Abraham Sapien.
There we go. It says, I don't know who should be or do the voice, but it should be full of pride, confidence, and megalomaniac. I feel you there. The closest I could think is James Spader, but he already did Ultron.
Yeah, he's already been Ultron. He was. That's the best part of Age of Ultron is James Spader. Everyone shits on that movie, but I love it just for James Spader. James Spader can do no wrong in my book.
I don't think James Spader's voice is the right kind of voice there.
You mean for Doom or for
Doom? For Doom. Yeah. Doom needs to be like dark, or
he's got to have a lower octave.
Yeah.
James Spader's up here and he's good and he's menacing, but can't be James Earl Jones. It could be signed over the rights to his voice forever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like who's got that, like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm
Dr. Doom.
Oh, this will
golden by it. Also, when they introduce molded by it. Also, when they introduced Doom, he should have a knowledge of every event in the MCU, and was able to prevent the Latveria from being affected by the snap. Knows about TVA and the multiverse. They need to go all out for Doom.
If anything, the Doom's like fucking what's it called? His origin story should be that Latveria got, for some reason, Latveria got snapped more than, because it was 50%
like hit more than anyone.
But like he got hit more than anyone, and like Doom was somehow able to like bring them back. And when everyone got snapped back, it was like one of the few places, because when they did the Falcon and Winter Soldier, one of the big things was like resources for all the people snapped back, and that was a problem. And it should be like Latveria was the one place where like people got snapped back, and it was like he actually made it so that they could come back to a place of plenty and everything's fine, and they were all welcomed back, and they all heralded Doom as a savior because of it.
Yeah, I really just don't know what they're gonna do with Doom, because it's like
they're gonna fucking kill it. Did we talk about? Hold on. When we talked about the last episode, Shield hadn't ended, hadn't it?
No, because it was
that fucking ending.
Fucking great.
It
That's exactly what it should have been. Like, I hear there's some people complaining about it. They can shut their fucking mouths because that's exactly what the fucking comic would have done.
Ruled. She-Hulk was so much fun. I love that at the end of it, Blonsky also wasn't a villain.
Yeah, I was glad about that.
I love everyone's just like he's part of intelligentsia. No, he didn't know what was going on. He was just renting out his fucking barn for money.
He just went for money. He was just like, oh, I'm a public speaker. Like, I'll speak if fucking the money is there. So like, I was into it. But yeah, I'm very excited about it.
He got away and he gets to fuck off and be with Wong. And,
what's going on with that?
And now the show is going to be Abomination, Wong, and Madison. Just being pals.
Just watching like Scrubs next or something. Says keep up the great work, Tylon. P.S. Since it's spooky season, what is your go-to horror film? Personally, this is a good segue. Personally, I love to watch Army of Darkness, which isn't really horror in comparison to the previous Evil Dead films, but I've always been a fan of horror comedy and always laugh whenever watching it. Thank you, Tylon.
Top 3. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Cabin in the Woods, and Saw.
Yeah, I really like the first Saw movie.
Honorable mentions Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. That's a funny, kooky one.
I'll put Shaun of the Dead in there.
Shaun of the Dead, I think, is a little played out.
No, it's fucking brilliant.
It's I think it's just been shown too many times to me. I don't know. I think what it is people quote it too much.
Okay.
I really love the Purge Anarchy and Purge Election Year. I think if you're looking for a really fucking scary movie, watch High Tension, which is a movie from France that'll freak you the fuck out. And all the Halloweens are always fun. Halloween is such a weird fucking thing. I still haven't seen Halloween Ends. I need to go see that. But Halloween is this weird series where there's Halloween 1 and then there's Halloween 2 and the Season of the Witch doesn't count. It's like Tokyo Drift where it's the best one, but it doesn't have anything to do with anything else, so it doesn't really count. And then you've got Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 is one storyline. And then it goes, we need to restart. So it goes 1, 2, H2O and Resurrection. And then Rob Zombie's like, well, I'm going to make my own 1 and 2. And then you got these new ones that go, well, nothing counts except for 1. And then Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends.
Right.
What a fucking weird story. They just can't decide. And the thing is, with the exception of 3 movies, they're all Halloween 1 is, of course, great. Halloween 2 is really fun. Halloween 4 is this weird one where it's Michael Myers' niece is a little kid. They got to stop her because she's got the evil in her. It's a gene. And then Halloween 5 and 6 are this thing about the Cult of the Thorn. We went over this last time, didn't we?
No, I think we just did that in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Halloween 5 and 6 are this thing where it's Michael Myers is actually this kid that this evil cult prayed to in his town so that he could be the Antichrist and the devil could put his soul in his body. So he's a soulless killing machine. And that's why he's got superpowers. And then that shit was real stupid. So then they did Halloween Resurrection where it's okay, Laurie Strode is his sister, but it's just that he's a fucking weirdo. And then that one is okay. And then they do Halloween Resurrection where it's I'm Busta Rhymes and I bought Michael Myers' house and I'm going to have a reality show. And it just fucking sucks. Absolute garbage shit. Then they did, listen, I think the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 is a good movie. I think Halloween 2, Rob Zombie sucks because they try to do all this thing of him taking off the mask and trying to humanize him, and his mom's like a ghost. And of course, they had to find a way to put Sherry Moon Zombie in it because that's all that Rob Zombie does. Yeah. I like Rob Zombie. He makes a lot of good movies. And his wife is fun in a lot of them, but
wait until you watch
everything.
Wait until you watch his latest movie, The Monsters 2022.
5-star movie. There's a couple of Rob Zombie movies I want to watch that I've never seen. I've seen How the Corpses and Devil's Rejects. I've never seen 3 for Hell, which closes that. I need to see that. I need to see Lords of Salem, and I've never seen 31. Those are the 3 of his movies I'd like to see sometime this month. And then you got these new ones where they say that 1 counts, 2 doesn't count. So it's really cool that at the end, so Halloween, the new one from a couple of years ago, that whole thing is just no, Laurie Strode is not a sister. Laurie Strode is some lady. Laurie Strode is convinced that Michael Myers has some connection to her, and Michael Myers has no fucking clue who she is and couldn't care less. all he does is murder because that's all he knows how to do. And then you have Halloween Kills, which tries to play this fucking message and it sucks shit. And then you got Halloween Ends, which I don't know anything about, and don't tell me anything because I'm gonna go see it. But I hear people say it's great, and I hear people say it's the worst fucking movie of all time. So I guess we'll find out.
Awful.
No, well, let me make my own decision.
Yeah,
ass face.
that's fair.
Speaking of scary movies, should we let the
I was gonna say
the callers in on a treat?
The perfect segue into our next episode.
The next episode should be in 2 weeks, but it's not. It's a week from today because that's Halloween, and we're gonna do something special.
We are. So if you could go find a copy on VHS. No. I don't think so. But,
okay, here's what we're going to do. People do this all the time where they watch a movie and they do their own commentary track. We're going to do that, and we're decided to do, we got to do a video game movie and we got to do a spooky movie. So we are going to watch, because of the announcements that came out last week.
Because we're getting a fucking another one.
Silent Hill 2 for Bloober Team and Silent Hill Somethings with Bad Robot and Silent Hill F. We're going to watch the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk over it so that you can sync it up and watch it while you listen to us talk about it. And that's going to be a super secret Halloween. Should we also let the people in on what the next regular episode is?
Yes. Also, yeah. So look out for the Halloween episode on Halloween. Be Silent Hill the movie, and then after that, our regular episode, which will take place the following Monday,
November the 7th, just a few short days away from the release of God of War Ragnarok,
are going to play God of War 2016, which I've never played.
Do you want to try that again?
Wait, what are we doing?
God of War 2018.
Was it 2018?
Yes, it was 2018.
No fucking way. I thought it was 2016.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
No, I thought it was 2016.
2018.
2018?
Yes.
What the fuck?
You want to bet $1 billion on it?
No, because it probably did come out then. God.
Of course it came out then.
It's been on the schedule for like a whole year as God of War 2016.
It's 2018.
It was totally it was 2018.
Yes,
holy shit.
Of course.
Okay.
Because I'm smarter than you. You know why I'm smarter than you? Because I have more trophies than you. Hey, Brad, if you're still listening, fuck you.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he does he kiss ya?
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at MoreTrophiesPod. That's MoreTrophiesPod. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou at gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's Dr._RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. It's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.